Radio.co is up.
We are live.
Oh, uh-oh. It ain't moving.
Engage and rage.
There we go.
This is Voice of the People, USA Radio.
I love it.
Kind of missed that. So.
yeah, I did actually. It was great to have it back. Good morning, everyone. It is another brand new episode of the Metalheads Unite podcast here on the VOP USA Radio Network and all of our live streaming platforms, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. We're probably all over it this morning. So
except for Spotify for some reasons, but
yeah. But that's something we're ironing out. So we're working on that. But,
we're trying to figure that out. So.
Yeah. But good morning to Hans and Octavio, who are already in the studio with us. Welcome in, gentlemen.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah. Octavio, I do not know what that song is. That's actually a VOP original, I think so.
Yeah, I think it might be because it doesn't get any copyright strikes, so it must
right.
Be.
So, well, I mean, I was surprised we didn't get any last week, but you know.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm okay with it. So.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with that. But yeah, but yes,
that's a safe
welcome
song.
Everybody.
Yeah, there you go. That's a safe song. Yeah,
VOP original safe song.
Hans, we're doing pretty well here. We're kind of.
Don't be lying. We're fucking hot, man. We're melting here.
I was just about to say we're both done on one side. Someone needs to flip us over, but yeah, it's like the heat index is like anywhere from like a $110, $12, so it's a little on the warm side, but
yeah. The humidity here in Tennessee is horrible too. So
yeah, it sucks.
So that does not help. So
no, so.
You're watching TV and you're still hot and sticky. So
yeah, in the house. Yeah,
in the house. Yeah. But, I'm like so thankful I got a new unit because I don't know what I would do right now.
Yeah, ours isn't even 5 years old either. So thankfully, it's in good shape too. But other than that, yeah, we're doing well. Thank you for asking. How about yourself? We hope everyone's doing well. And we're glad everybody could join us for another new episode. We're excited about this episode. You know, we don't have a guest again this week, but at some point here during the episode, we will be making a couple of announcements that pertain to next week. Next week is going to be an interesting day altogether for the Metalheads Unite podcast, the show, and just Saturday in general. So I'm not trying to give anything away too soon, but next Saturday we are really, really excited about next week. So we'll get to that here in a little bit.
If we haven't proved we're all in yet, then by God, next Saturday should do it. So
yeah,
man,
and nothing is written in stone yet, but even July is looking interesting. So
yeah, it's actually. I mean, we got so much going on with there. There may be scheduling conflicts. So
could be.
So
could be. So,
so it's a
so if
good
you
thing to have, I guess. But
right, yeah. So if you guys are new to the Metalheads Unite podcast, you showed up at the right time. If you've been here all along, first of all, thank you, and second of all, so buckle up for the ride.
Things are fixing to get heated up. So,
yeah. No pun intended, but yeah.
Right. It's gonna be hotter than hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well, that's that and that's metal anyway. So
that's right. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we will crank this thing open. Get it going here. Sorry, you gotta bear with me a minute. My printer is still having issues. I can't figure it. I got like a Bluetooth printer, so I'm having to figure out how to link it to my new Wi-Fi.
Okay, yeah.
I got the new Wi-Fi, so I'm having to screen back and forth here. So just bear with me.
Yeah, Bluetooth has its downsides sometimes.
Man, it's like I tried to hook to something the other day. It was like right next to me, and it still never showed up. I'm just like, what the hell, man? It's right here.
Right,
It's what the hell?
It's like I'm looking right at it. Yeah.
Oh man, gotta love technology. So.
Yeah. Well, we do love technology because we're able to, do this. But yeah, sometimes technology does give you like a figurative middle finger, though, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, if I could have one more match, it would be with technology. So.
Ooh. Oh. Hell yeah! Put that on.
Beat it with a steel chair. So.
Yeah, put that on a card.
Maybe I missed my call in there. Could have used that name or something.
That's true. That's very true.
Should have been had like a finishing move, like a crash drive or something.
I like it. I do. I like it. I do. I like it.
Been from the interwebs. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I've been my hometown, the interwebs.
Oh, see, now that's cool too.
Yeah. So I'm giving somebody ideas here. I ain't even copyright this shit.
Yeah, you actually should do that.
Oh man. All right, I guess we will kick off this thing like we usually do with our birthday segment, real quick. Not very many, but some big names on it. So
yeah, I was about to say
we will crank this thing up from June 12th through the 18th. And just bear with me too. There's a lot of names on here that are European, so just bear with me. So June 12th, we had Zolt Dotzi, guitarist for Omen, who passed away in 2007, unfortunately. We had June 13th, we had Billy LaHela, singer for Sentence and Poison Black. You may know how to pronounce that better than I do because you're a bigger Sentence fan than I. Well, actually, you turned me on to Sentence, so
yeah.
So.
Well, the one good thing you always got to remember about like the Finnish language, at least as far as I know, I don't speak Finnish, so anybody out there from Finland, you'll just have to give me a pass because I am still a bloody American. But one thing that I've kind of noticed, especially from like watching all the hockey games that I've watched, because there's a lot of guys from Finland in the NHL. It's like you almost have to pronounce every letter, so it's like Ville Laihiala, I believe. So,
gotcha. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense. So, and this is going to be the first of many mentions of past guests on the show. But they weren't a guest, but the member of the band was. But June 13th birthday, Parker Ellis, a guitarist for One of the Last.
Awesome.
Had a birthday. Yeah. So
yeah.
Maybe we can get him on with John next time. So.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We had June 14th, we had King Diamond, vocalist for, of course, Merciful Fate and King Diamond. Then they had Chris DeGarmo, guitarist for Queensryche. Then we had Ray Luzier, drummer for Korn. June 15th, we had Craig Gruber, bassist for Rainbow, who unfortunately passed away in 2015. Joe Pizzullo, session and touring vocalist for Alice Cooper. Scott Rockenfeld, drummer for Queensryche. Hey, Queensryche getting some love today on the birthday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
June 16th, Johannes Helgason, guitarist for, I don't know how they pronounce their last. Is it Payer? Peyr. So I'm not real sure how they pronounce that, but
I don't know.
then of course we had Kiko Loriero, guitarist for Megadeth.
Yep.
June 17th, we have Michael Monroe, singer for Hanoi Rocks. June 18th, Wes Arkeen, guitarist and songwriter for Guns N' Roses, who unfortunately passed away in 1997. Then we had Darren Dizzy Reed, keyboardist for Guns N' Roses. Same day, so it was a Guns N' Roses day.
Yeah.
And when, last but not least, we had Oz Fox, guitarist for Striper. So happy birthday to those, and I know you have a special birthday shout out to do. So.
I do. My beautiful wife, her birthday was last Sunday, so I mean, I know it's almost a week ago, but considering that our show's on a Saturday and her birthday was last Sunday, so. But happy birthday to Angela, my wife, and also happy birthday to my cousin Amanda. Her birthday is actually today. So.
Oh well, happy birthday! So.
Yes.
So happy birthday to those, and if I forgot anybody, I apologize. And if you're out there listening, like always, happy birthday to you as well. So. All right, guess we can crank up with some news of the week. Seems like there was a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't have as much. I don't have as much as you do, but
yeah. Well, there's definitely always a little, but I want to go ahead and start off this week. Thankfully, we got lucky this week. We don't have any news of any passings this week, so that's always good when we don't have to talk about anybody passing away. I would very much like to have that be the case every week, but as we find out that isn't always the case. But so we've talked about this a couple of times over the last few weeks. Talked about this band anyway, and it seems like
oh yeah,
it seems like we're just about to see the last probably of As I Lay Dying. Over at blabbermouth.net. Of course, this was on multiple platforms, but I grabbed it from Blabbermouth because that's where I saw it first. As I Lay Dying singer Tim Lambesis has responded to longtime drummer Jordan Mancino's announcement earlier in the month that he would sit out the band's current tour dates due to, quote, a number of ongoing internal issues, end quote, that have not yet been resolved. A week ago, Mancino released a statement via social media in which he said, quote, to all of our friends, our fans, my friends, family, and supporters within the industry, there have been a number of ongoing internal issues with As I Lay Dying that need to be worked out. It was my wish to avoid any further touring until these issues were resolved. Since they have not been resolved, it was with a heavy heart that I announced I will not be performing on any upcoming tour dates until further notice. Thanks to all for your understanding, end quote. Earlier on Friday, June 17th, Lambesis released the following statement via social media, quote, there was a public statement recently made by Jordan Mancino regarding internal issues within AILD. We feel that it's necessary to share a little more information with the fans on the matter in order to better understand the situation and avoid making any wrongful assumptions. For about the past 2 years, Jordan has excommunicated himself from the remaining members of AILD, informing us that he wishes only to speak through lawyers moving forward. There have been numerous attempts by the remaining members to reconcile with Jordan and to find common ground in how to continue AILD in a healthy and positive manner. In preparation for post-pandemic band activity, the remaining members felt it unfair to have our ambitions hindered by someone who refused to contribute or communicate openly. We feel this is not an efficient way for a band or business to operate productively. We offered Jordan a chance to get together and jam old songs or even just get into a room together to talk weeks prior to an established deadline before needing to find a fill-in drummer for the upcoming tour. We had no response until we were met with legal documents that Jordan wished to move on from the band and expected a payment in return. The remaining members feel that we must find other solutions to keep AILD moving forward without Jordan Mancino involved. There is nothing personal with this situation in any way. We want to continue playing music, and we cannot be an effective team if a member wants to limit all progress and productivity by refusing to communicate. The remaining members who write the songs, handle touring logistics, merchandise, etc., feel confident that we can pursue our creative ambitions moving forward with greater ease, knowing that all members, producers, agents, crew members, etc., are enthusiastic to be involved. The driving force of AILD is still well intact. Jordan has had a long career of performing AILD songs very well, and his drumming on our earlier records in particular really pushed the genre as a whole. We're grateful for his contributions and the good times we shared, end quote. On June 10th, As I Lay Dying announced that it had recruited drummer Nick Pierce formerly of Unearthed, to sit behind the kit for the band's current tour. Later that day, As I Lay Dying's new touring lineup made its live debut at the House of Blues in Las Vegas. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure where As I Lay Dying goes from here. I think they're basically down to 2 original members. I'm not even 100% sure at this point, because there's been people, like Jordan Mancino, apparently, who is out now. There's been other guys who are sitting out temporarily. They've gotten fill-ins. So I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen going forward. I mean, Machine Head is only down to basically 1 original member. So, I mean, it's not unheard of. So I'm not real sure. I mean, but we'll obviously keep you guys up to date with, what happens. But man, it's just been it's been a little bit of a Fear Factory mess, but
well, even Megadeth's down to Dave Mustaine. I mean, so all right. I guess this is kind of a follow-up story from what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
This one from over at Metal Sucks. Earlier this month, globe-spanning rock act Foo Fighters announced that they would be taking part in 2 tribute concerts to honor the life of their drummer Taylor Hawkins, who passed away in April at 50 years old. Now, a list of the musicians set to appear at the London tribute show has been released, and it includes some of the biggest names in rock history. According to a new flyer posted to Foo Fighters' Facebook, the London tribute to Taylor Hawkins will include appearances from Chris Chaney of Jane's Addiction and Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders, Stuart Copeland, drummer for the Police, Liam Gallagher of Oasis, jazz and pop producers and composer Omar Hakim, Josh Homme of Queens of the Stone Age, Chrissy Hind of The Pretenders, Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson of Rush, Brian May and Roger Taylor of Queen, DJ, songwriter, record producer Mark Ronson, Supergrass, Rufus Taylor, drummer for The Darkness, Wolfgang Van Halen, Hawkins' cover band Chevy Metal, and a special appearance by comedian Dave Chappelle. So, more information on the shows can be found via Foo Fighters website. To keep up to date with the details about tickets, lineup, on sale events, you can sign up for Foo Fighters mailing list. Sorry. So it looks like at least one of the concerts is coming together. I don't know if that's going to be a trending lineup that's going to go over into any of the other ones, but at least London is set. So
that's definitely going to be a who's who.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to think. I mean, Foo Fighters kind of dipped into a lot of different genres. So I mean,
right.
So I'm sure they've made a lot of friends in every aspect of those genres. So
yeah.
So you can probably expect a lot more bigger names to be announced in some of the other upcoming shows. So.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. It's kind of. I wouldn't have expected Dave Chappelle to make an appearance though, but still, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah,
that's cool though.
I don't know. I guess Dave, may have been friends with those guys. I don't know. It's still kind of cool.
I guarantee you, Dave Chappelle has I guess he'll have tighter security this go around.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I mean, hope maybe for the fans' sake, they may need to make sure they do. But,
yeah.
I think that fan got a little roughed up. So
yeah. Dude, they fucked that guy up, man. And they should have. Dude had a knife on him. So I mean,
well, I mean, that's kind of like any kind of entertainment, things like that. It's kind of I don't know. I've seen videos of where people try to jump the UFC cage, which is stupid in general.
That's really dumb.
But security would wind up like spearing them and shit while they're midair. It was kind of funny. But,
oh yeah.
I remember I was seeing a compilation of that a while back. It was pretty funny to watch. But I've even been in a ring where a fan got into the ring one time and like I was still green in the business, and I was just like, okay, what the hell's going on? And then the 2 of the veterans that we were in the ring with it was so funny. Like they were fighting each other, but then the fan hit. They just turned and beat the shit out of the fan because he jumped in the ring.
Yeah.
And then they just like looked at each other and just went back to fighting. It was fucking hilarious. It was fucking hilarious, man. But I was just like, wow, that's I'm just on the outside of the apron going, what the hell just happened?
You thought it was like a run in or something.
Well, I didn't know. Like like I said, I was new to the business. I ain't been in the business for like a year or so at the time, so I didn't know anything. I've never had that happen. So it was kind of funny to see that happen.
All right, staying over at Blabbermouth, we have you talking about Queensryche earlier in the show. Former Queensryche singer Jeff Tate will take the next few months off the road as he recovers from an unspecified medical procedure. On Monday, June 13th, the 63-year-old musician who fronted Queensryche from the band's inception through 2012 took to his social media to write, quote, "I am having a medical procedure and my health professionals want me to recover over the summer. I will be back in rocking South America in January. Looking forward to seeing everyone on the road," end quote. Tate's tour celebrated the 30th anniversary of Queensryche's Empire and Rage for Order albums. In 2014, Tate and Queensryche announced that a settlement had been reached after a nearly 2-year legal battle where the singer sued over the rights to the Queensryche name after being fired in 2012. Fellow original Queensryche members Michael Wilton, Scott Rockenfeld, and Eddie Jackson responded with a countersuit. The settlement included an agreement that Wilton, Rockenfeld, and Jackson would continue as Queensryche while Tate would have the sole right to perform the albums Operation Mindcrime 1 and 2 in their entirety live. So this story kind of buried the lead a little bit there, but so it's just kind of a short story, but because they didn't go into any specifics, but hopefully, at 63 years old, hopefully whatever whatever procedure he's going through won't be super major. Hopefully they're not rebuilding Jeff Tate like they did with Ozzy earlier in the week, and basically built an entire new endoskeleton for fucking Ozzy Osbourne. Jesus Christ.
Which I had an update with that in the little quick headlines that I go through at the end of all this.
There's your segue there. So
tossed
you a segue.
All right, my next one is over from Metal Injection. It was recently confirmed that all remastered episodes of Beavis and Butthead will feature the duo's classic commentary on the music videos of the day. Now, creator Mike Judge has confirmed in an interview with Consequence that the duo will also be reacting to popular YouTube and TikTok videos in both their upcoming Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe movie and ensuing series. YouTube clips and TikTok just sort of came up, said Judge. Like there's just so much to watch. We were limited to music videos on MTV, but the world is cluttered with so many videos now. Now, whatever the demographic that was watching music videos in the 90s is probably watching this kind of TikTok stuff, and we all watch YouTube. So Judge later joked that it's harder than it looks to write Beavis and Butthead because they're so dumb, but mentioned that he's very happy with how the 2022 version of the duo came out. Paramount Plus describes the movie as such, in perhaps the dumbest space movie ever made. Beavis and Butthead are sentenced to space camp by a creative judge in 1998, leading to a trip into a space shuttle, which predictably disastrous results. After going through a black hole, they reemerge in our time, where they look for love, misuse iPhones, and are hunted by the deep state. Spoiler, they don't score. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe is written, directed, and voiced by original creator Mike Judge. So that's going to be some funny ass shit.
Yeah, it will.
Especially if they're going to include TikTok and stuff. So
that's
actually when they was talking about that, I was wondering why they didn't incorporate some of the newer outlets that people use to watch videos. So it's cool that they're incorporating that. So.
But it is also good at the same time that the remastered episodes are still going to have the music videos, because that was
that was the main thing. So.
Because I mean, it's literally not a complete episode without them, watching the music videos and tearing them down. So
right,
it's just not.
It's like a mystery science theater of music. So
exactly, yeah, it is. All right, moving over to Loudwire for a second. Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee was replaced by Tommy Clufatos after 5 songs into the set on the opening night of the long-awaited stadium tour, which also features Def Leppard, Poison, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and Classless Act. Quote, "We did it, you did it, we did it, we're fucking here. Okay, anyway, what I've got to tell you is about 14 days ago, I fucking broke not one, not two, not three, but 4 fucking ribs right here, Lee told the crowd while walking across the stage away from his drum kit. The moment was captured on video by multiple fans in attendance at the Atlanta, Georgia stop at Truist Park and can be seen below. There's a video in the story. I wish I had a fucking badass story like me and Conor McGregor fucking scrapping out in some fucking bar or something, but I don't, Lee continued, noticeably tending to his injured area. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fucking great time. And my boy Tommy Clufetos back here, he's going to help me get through this, the drummer went on. The doctors told me no playing, bro, no playing. And I was like, are you fucking high, bro? We got a fucking tour to do. So anyway, I ain't sitting out for shit. My boy's going to help me out here, and I'll see you guys later. On with the goddamn show, end quote. So crew tweeted a message from Lee relaying similar information after their set had concluded. Clufetos has been the drummer in Ozzy Osbourne's band since 2009, and he also performed live with Black Sabbath from 2012 through their final show in 2017. Other notable stints include time with Alice Cooper from 03 to 10, Rob Zombie from 05 to 10, and Ted Nugent from 02 to 05, and again in 2007. You can view the complete set list from the opening night beneath the fan shot footage and see all of the upcoming stadium tour dates here. There's a hyperlink. And for tickets, head to this location. Another hyperlink. So yeah, if that tour wasn't fucking, doomed from the start because of, pandemic and all this other bullshit and, not knowing if Vince Neil was even going to be in shape to get up on stage, Tommy Lee's dumbass goes and breaks his ribs 2 weeks before opening night. So,
I don't know if you've seen any of the footage from that show, but like I think during the Def Leppard set, it came just a pour, and they got got soaked. It was
and they played through it.
They played through, yeah. So, but I mean, sometimes you got to take those warnings from higher powers. So.
Yeah. The funny thing is, the funny thing is that first show was at that park where we went, to see that Metallica and Avenged Sevenfold show, and that was actually, of course, they changed the name of it. It was like SunTrust Park back when you and I went, but
yeah.
So they've changed the name of it since then, but it's still the same place, So where the
really? I didn't even realize they changed the name.
Yeah, I didn't either at first, but then I started looking at some of the pictures and everything. I was reading the stories, and I started looking in the background. I was like, holy shit, I remember. Oh, this is this. I started looking at the stuff in the background at the stadium, and I noticed a couple of landmarks that I recognized. I was like, oh shit, it's the same park. They just changed the name. So, but when we went to see Metallica, that was what I was worried about that day too. I was like, man, we're just sitting here out in the open. What if it fucking starts raining? And if you do, and if you remember, there was one point. It was around dusk. If you remember, over the you and I were sitting in the outfield, right? And just in different sections.
I think so. I think you were kind of like diagonally and below me, so you were
okay. So yeah, I think we were still both sitting in the outfield. But if you remember, you could look past the stage out towards, I think, the wall. The stands behind home plate. And if you remember, there were clouds where there was lightning flashing off in the distance.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I was really worried about we were going to get hit by a storm while we were sitting out there, and thankfully we didn't. But yeah, I saw where Def Leppard had kind of gotten rained on too. So yeah.
Well, I was more worried about the lightning itself, because I was just like, man, if it starts lightning too often, then they'll just want to call it, postponing the show or whatever. I'm like, I was. I mean, my tickets were free. I won my tickets, but still, I was still being kind of upset because it's Metallica. But
right. So yeah, we dodged a bullet. Def Leppard, not so much.
Yeah, right. All right, so what we kind of made this podcast for was to learn about new bands. So Metal Injection is going to help us out a little bit this week.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So everybody that's able to get your pen and paper ready, or at least if you're on the radio side, go back and listen to this on the one of our other streams later, where you can get some these bands' names down to check them out. But
yeah.
Story reads, summer's coming up, and you need some solid heavy metal to blast with the windows down. Well, I mean, no windows down right now, but
no,
maybe in a couple of weeks when it dies down from the hundreds. But they're always the classic bands to rely on. But why not dig into some newer heavy metal bands that bring the heat too? We're sure your neighbors and passerby will enjoy them as much as you do. Well, our neighbors do enjoy when we have our campfire,
Mm-hmm.
but so there's a couple of bands that they threw out there. I think it's like 20 of them on here. So they got the band names and a little description here. So if any of that seems to fit your metal cravings, then you may want to check these bands out. But first one was Ambush. You look at the artwork from some of their albums and tell me you don't immediately know what that Ambush sounds like. There's simply no other assumption to be made than soaring vocals, wrist destroying guitar lines, and enough heavy metal power to light up your whole neighborhood. And I did look at some of the album covers of the stuff too, but because they kind of put that out there, and I was like, oh well, let me see what the album cover is saying, and that definitely kind of gave me a late '80s, early '90s vibe just from the artwork. So
yeah, does it say where they're from?
It doesn't really say any of that, so I'm not real sure. So
the reason why I ask is because I was actually going to pull up some of those album covers, but like Metal Encyclopedia Metallum has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bands with the name Ambush.
Oh wow.
So let's see. Well,
you can actually go to the story over there at the Mental.
oh yeah,
I guess they actually got the album covers there. So they did that because these are upcoming albums too. So this is stuff.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah. So kind of fits in with ties in with our album stuff. So
yeah, it does.
Show, but,
yeah.
All right, second one was Black Soul Horde. With grim-looking artwork and a slower pace, Black Soul Horde is a throwback to the doom side of classic heavy metal. Check out the band song Beware the Deep to get a good sense of their chunky riffs and ability to pick up into a gallop without breaking a sweat. So that may be a band I might like checking out there. Let's see. The third one here is Blade Killer. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum of Black Soul Horde is Blade Killer, whose particular brand of speed metal, or there we go, was made to be blasted from a boombox. It's been a minute since we've heard from Blade Killer, though the band did say they were working on a new record in 2020. So here's hoping. So that sounds more like our speed there, a little speed metal.
Yeah, it does.
Then there's Fortress, which I believe I've heard some stuff from them before. I'm not sure if it's...
That actually does sound familiar.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's his tone or the way he delivers his vocals, maybe both, but the vocalist Chris Scott Nunez really reminds me of Bruce Dickinson. I'll bet not as much as I kind of sing, but... No. This music is way shreddier and more aggressive than the early Iron Maiden, but this band certainly captures a very specific early days of heavy metal vibe. And I've kind of like, since we've gotten to the heavy metal HQ and I've been able to dig through some of these bands, I've went through, and like if you follow our playlists on Spotify, I've been including a lot of those bands into the playlist because I think that's a good way of getting them out there too.
Mm-hmm.
So I've noticed a lot of, probably, I think I added 16 bands to the list this week, and I think at least 4 of those gave me an old school like metal vibe from Dangerous Toys, Bane Tango type stuff, So
yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see that sound is still kind of around, But it's like I know one of the bands I listened to, I was like, oh, this is kind of old school feeling. And then it kind of went melodic, like some of the stuff that you love. And I thought, man, that's crazy how they just combined the old school hard rock with the melodic metal sound of like European metal sound.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty freaking cool, man. Like and like we talked about this with Rick from Extinction AD, how they're starting to mash up different genres and coming up with new sounds, which is freaking awesome, dude. I'm really digging that. So next one here is Greyhawk. It's Grey Grey. So in case you're wanting to find that, so it feels like a classic heavy metal answer to a band like Unto Others. There are certainly those gothy vocals, though Greyhawk leans a little harder into the plotting riffs of yesteryear. It also helps that Greyhawk has some very side of band worthy artwork. So a lot of artwork being mentioned in some of these bands. So which is good too, because I mean they come out with albums and it definitely gets put into the conversation for album covers of the year when we do our
Mhm.
end of year segment. So, which is going to be a little rough this year from some of the album covers I've seen. Man, there've been some good ones. So,
Yeah.
and we're not even halfway through the year. So,
Right.
next, the band was Haunt, Haunt. The project, headed up by Trevor Williams Church, has put out a handful of full-length and EPs ever since their inception in 2017. And while that output is impressive, it's worth noting that it's all top-tier heavy metal riffing throughout. No word on if Church has slept since 2017, but man, there's some bands that we worry about Matt Heafy all the time. I think he's a robot. I think he's really a robot. I don't think
I
he's
think so.
Matt Heafy does so much shit. It's like, dude, kind of Jericho's kind of the same way. Like, this guy. Then, like we mentioned this before, where you see him on wrestling, then you hear him, he's on like a Tonight Show playing live with Fozzy, and then he's out with his family in Disney World. I'm like, dude, where the hell you got time to do this shit? Like, then he does a podcast too, so it's kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys are, I mean, I guess I could probably do that too if that's all I had to do was those things. But
That's true.
all right, this band, Hellfire, is equal parts new wave of British heavy metal and speed thrash metal. Though the throat-shredding vocals certainly lean toward the former, this is the perfect time to get into Hellfire as the band gears up to release their new record, Reckoning, this August. It's going to be a ripper. So
we know
I can,
Hellfire, yeah.
So I can vouch for this band. I actually seen them open up for Death Angel in 2019. And they were so impressive. I bought one of their albums at the show. So,
Yeah.
if that tells you anything you need to know about Hellfire, but definitely the old school Priest, Maiden feel with some modernized vocals put in there. So it's definitely definitely some good stuff. Definitely check that band out. Like I said, I can vouch for that one because I know them pretty well. But
and they are the Oprah Winfrey of the guitar solo. You get a guitar solo. You get a guitar solo. It's like every song I've heard of theirs is like every member of the every single dude who plays an instrument in that gets a solo like in every song. It's fucking crazy.
All right, next band is Hitten, Hitten. They have been cranking out the party anthem heavy metal since their 2012 EP Shake the World, and they haven't stopped since. Look no further than Built to Rock to get a good sense of Hitten's good time sensibilities alongside their utterly insane shreddiness and play it loud. So, good old party anthems. Ain't nothing wrong with a good old party anthem. Next band's Lucia. Lucia has a certain evil about their sound that would certainly have attracted some likely interesting and dark lore should they have came out before the internet. Lucia spans everything from doomed passages to frenzied speed metal, all while retaining that certain heavy metal aura. A lot of these bands, I'm actually going to wind up. I got it on my computer, so I'm going to wind up checking a lot of these out anyway. But
yeah. Where did you say this story was from again? Metal Injection?
Metal Injection, yes.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to fucking look that story up. I'm gonna make sure I take this list down too. So,
next one was Iron Cobra, Cobra with a K, of course, Kobra. Not to be affiliated with Karate Kid at all, but.
Iron Cobra Kai.
Iron Cobra Kai. Yeah, you look at the artwork and tell me that you don't already know this band kicks ass. There you go, another artwork. That's the kind of artwork you put on a T-shirt and then never ever get rid of it. So anyway, Iron Cobra it's the heavy metal that'll make you pick up an axe and charge into battle. So anyway, that's the kind of shit I like too. So.
And of course, any heavy metal band that starts off with Iron is automatically pretty good.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden, Iron Savior. I mean, it's just
yeah. There's been a lot of good ones, that's for sure. Next one was Magic Circle. Magic Circle's output isn't Haunt levels of prolific, but should draw your attention every time they've got new music coming. Fronted by now Summerland's vocalist Brendan Radigan, Magic Circle airs more on the doom side of classic heavy metal, a perfect speed for the crushing summer heat. Then we had Megaton Sword. Seemed like I looked this band up too recently. Megaton Sword sounds exactly like you'd expect based on their name. Classic, epic heavy metal that requires you to be on horseback wearing a loincloth to listen to it.
It's like Man of War.
Yeah. Megaton Sword packs anthemic choruses, battle-worthy riffs, and all the war-themed looks you could want. So there you
Nice.
go. And it's played by the Viking guy that was in the riots in January 6th. I'm just kidding. He's not in. Midnight Spell. Midnight Spell has just enough radio flair atop their heavy metal sound that I really wouldn't be shocked if these guys got picked up by a major label. Midnight Spell's 2021 record Sky Destroyer feels tailor-made for massive crowds, though in the meantime you can show your whole neighborhood by turning it way up. Sound like they're just wanting us to get in trouble with the police. I don't know.
Yeah.
You keep telling me to turn shit up, man.
Yeah.
Of course,
well, I need to be told that anyway.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, if it's something starts sounding like it's going to be hitting pretty good in the guitar solos or anything like that, then it's automatically getting cranked up. So.
Mm-hmm.
Sanhedrin perfectly captures a driving mid-paced heavy metal energy that isn't afraid to get low and slow. Check out the band's track Correction for a great representation of the band's blinding solos, classic riffs, and vocal top lines, powerfully backed by the rest of the band. So let's see. Next one is Screamer. Screamer, I think I've heard this band too. Screamer is bringing the high-octane heavy metal magic from the fabled lands of Sweden, where apparently their water is simply laced with inducing chemicals. Sorry,
you would think,
chemicals. Yeah. Screamer is another band that you're not allowed to listen to at a reasonable volume. It demands party hard and loud. Smolder. Smolder comes to us from behind a dense veil of fog, playing doomed classic heavy metal riffs into the wilderness. If you're looking for a more downtrodden side of heavy metal on the list, then you're going to need Smolder in your life. Summerlands with Winium is recently returned with Magic Circle's Radigan for the first single in 6 years, Ageless Life. Prior, the band released their Van Halen tinged debut record in 2016 on Relapse Records, and while their name does pop up sometimes, Summerlands really ought to be a bigger part of the conversation.
Well, maybe we can help with that.
Well, maybe so. We'll see. Tower began making waves in 2021 with their sophomore effort Shot to the System. Though they really should have blown up completely, Tower masterfully marries classic heavy metal with a hard rock feel musically, while vocally, Sarah Beth Linden is easily one of the best vocalists in the game right now. So I'm definitely going to check that out and see how true that is. But
there are some female voices out there.
Yeah, a lot of good ones too. So,
yeah, there are.
And they just keep popping up too, which is
they
crazy.
Do.
It's like Traveler. You can't hear Traveler's Starbreaker and not throw some serious Invisible Oranges throughout the course. Traveler is now 2 records deep into their career, both of which have been well received. It's only a matter of time before Traveler is bringing the heavy metal heat to your city. Witch Hazel, WYTCH, they take the classic new wave of British metal sound, throw in a little progressive rock and hard rock, and maybe a pinch of folk, and the result is a glorious, bright heavy metal sound ready to crusade through the countryside. So that is the list that they gave us there. So there's a good list of bands there that to check out, along with the like I said, along with the list. If you ever want to check anything out, definitely follow the playlist. Excuse me, that I'll throw up here in just a little bit. So, like I said, I've been going through the Heavy Metal HQ lineup, and that they give us, and taking songs off of that list and throwing them onto the playlist. So that kind of gives everybody a little vibe of some of these bands that are not as known as some of the bigger bands. So
yeah.
Which is why we're here.
Like I say, maybe we can do something about that lesser known part. I know I said that already, but maybe we can help.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the whole purpose of doing this is for for us, of course, to do this as maybe a full-time gig at some point, but to also help these bands that we think should get more recognition, out there. So
yeah. But yeah, that was a good list, and I actually found it, and I'm going through some of these and looking at some of the artwork like you were talking about, and yeah, some of these album covers are badass. They are. Of course, we talked about it. It was either last weekend, or the weekend before last. I mean, we're just talking about like what other music genre, like as a whole, has album covers as good as heavy metal. I don't think
because
one does.
because if you look at most album covers, that's not metal, it's usually somebody's something like the artist themselves are on the cover, or some countryside barn or something. I mean, it's nothing like I don't know. I guess it's not nothing imaginative. I guess as far as like artwork. It's like a picture and you threw somebody's face in it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, metal definitely has a knack for creating some badass artwork. So.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. All right, this is I'm going over to the PRP for one. This is another chapter in a ongoing story of shit that just pisses me off. But Death Grind outfit Cephalic Carnage were the victims of theft this past Tuesday, June 14th in Portland, Oregon. The band were in town to play a show at the Hawthorne Theater. According to the group, thieves made off with a PRS guitar belonging to rhythm guitarist Steve Goldberg after smashing out a window of their touring van. They shared a shot of the aftermath over on their Facebook and video via their Instagram stories. The group are out opening for Max and Igor Cavalera on a Sepultura throwback tour and openers Healing Magic dates for which include, and I'm not going to go through them. They're at the bottom of the story, but so I'm not exactly sure how many stories this has been now of us having to talk about this, people getting their vans broken into. In this instance, something actually got stolen. The past couple times, they were able to track the thieves down because of air tags. But I mean, it's just irritating that these guys just can't safely go out on tour and park somewhere for the night and get some goddamn sleep so they can go on to the next city without somebody fucking with their stuff. It just drives me insane. God, it's so infuriating. And I'm not even in these bands, and it's infuriating for me. I can only imagine how these guys fucking feel.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. So.
Yeah. And I guarantee you that's exactly it was just a smash and grab. I can get some money for this.
Oh, yeah.
So that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, you're probably right. So I know I remember getting my car broken into on the side of the interstate. Like, I was like, how the hell does somebody get into my car? They cut my battery cables to take my battery, and I mean, it's an interstate, like it's a busy interstate. So I'm in the middle of the day. Yeah. So how did nobody notice that? The window was broke for one.
Yeah. I had my car broken into at Hickory Hollow back in this has been at least 20 years ago, but yeah, I had my car broken into at Hickory Hollow while I was inside shopping. I come outside and my console is ripped apart. My CDs were gone. Yeah, I had CDs, kids. My CDs
still got CDs.
My CDs were gone. My radar detector was stolen. Fucking, I look over two rows over. There's two security guards sitting there like this in their trucks, like driver's side window to driver's side window. They're just sitting there bullshit. And I walk over and it's like, excuse me, I don't even interrupt, but somebody broke into my fucking car, Piss me off.
Get your dick out of the donut hole.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, it sucks for these guys because I mean they're literally they're literally getting their livelihoods.
Yeah, and a lot of these bands aren't, like I said, they're not Metallica, they're not Mega, they don't have rigs taking their shit from here to there. So I mean, so for the they're trying to get to status to where they can probably get that done, but
right.
they can't because of pieces of shit's taken from them now. So
right, yeah. And I mean, it potentially takes money out of their wallets twice, because I mean, he's got to get a new guitar, and you know, the next night's show is in danger. You know, so I mean, it's just
right.
You know, so it's like stealing from them twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. It's ridiculous. I don't get it.
It's just infuriating.
All right, so you know how I love my studies here. So got one for you here from Metal Hammer. A study by scientists at Yale University has concluded that going to festivals can make you a better person. Just in case you needed any more reasons to go, Dr. Daniel Yudkin's team was inspired by the traditions of religious celebrations, along with the sense of loss many people felt during lockdown, and decided to explore the idea of whether going to large-scale events is good for you. They concluded that it is. Humans have long sought experiences that transcend or change their sense of self. Dr. Yudkin's paper opens a new tab begins. By weakening boundaries between the self and others, such transformative experiences may lead to enduring changes in moral orientation. We've long known that festivals, pilgrimages, and ceremonies make people feel more bonded with their own group. Here we show that experiences at secular mass gatherings also have the potential to expand the boundaries of moral concern beyond one's own group. Research was carried out among 1,200 people who attended a number of events, including Burning Man in the US and Burning Nest in the UK, that were invited to play games for science at festival booths. Then interviewed again later, while an additional 2,000 people who hadn't taken part in the games were also interviewed. The psychologists reported overall 63.2% of participants reported having transformative experiences so profound that they left the events feeling radically changed, including a substantial number of people who did not expect or desire to be transformed. Subjects expressed a greater sense of understanding of different people, a greater willingness to help others, and a higher sense of general well being, with the effects lasting for up to 6 months for some. Dr. Yudkin said the findings are an important reminder of what we've missed in years of pandemic isolation, powerful social experiences, or what the sociologist Emil Durkheim called collective effervescence. So get out, get to those festivals, kids. So it's always good to hear positive feedback for once from over anything metal, because we get shit on a lot by other stuff. But oh my god, we're satanic.
Yeah, always looking to tear metal down for some stupid ass reason or another.
But the craziest thing is, it's probably one of the strongest following of music there is. I mean, like I said, we've talked about this before. Like, that's probably why we don't get as much airplay, is because we don't need it.
It's true. It's definitely a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation. Because I mean, you want to see, and like you say, we've talked about it before with like, you know, with like the Grammy Awards. You know, you know, they don't play, you know, they don't show the heavy metal category on TV anymore. But like, and then like the guys who are nominated, they're like, we don't fucking care. So, you know, it's kind of weird. But then, you know, at the same time, you know,
so I'll put this challenge out there real quick to, you know, I know probably anybody's not listening, but you know, I want to go on record and say I would challenge them right now. If you aired the heavy metal presentations, I would love to see the data on views from that segment. So
yeah,
just to you know what you've been missing out on.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No. You're good. Basically, it's actually kind of good that you did, because I felt myself going off into like a rehash, and I didn't want to do that. So actually, you kind of cut me off. You know, was probably a good thing, because I didn't want to get into something we've talked about at least twice. So yeah. So good.
Well, we tend to go back on some stuff here because
well,
it's just aggravating. It's aggravating.
It is aggravating, but at the same time, every now and then something does pop back up and reminds us of something we've already talked about. Like the whole thing with the people getting their vans stolen,
Right.
their vans broken into. I don't want to keep bringing it up, but I mean, so it's rough. Hey,
Oh,
metal and
metal tats are in the building.
Yeah. So good morning to Dana and the group over there at Metal and Tats. Yep. And yeah, we will see you guys next Saturday. More to come on that. I'm not jumping the gun on that, but yep. Good to see you this morning, Metal and Tats. We appreciate it. Going back over to blabbermouth.net. Twisted Sister singer Dee Snider has secured a deal to publish his first fictional novel, Frats. Like frats, what's up, bro? Frats. 2 years ago, the 67-year-old musician described the book as quote, a period piece, coming of age story set on Long Island, New York in 1972-73, inspired by true events. But he quickly clarified, no, it's not my story. In January 2019, Snider said he was working on an updated version of his 1987 book, Dee Snider's Teenage Survival Guide, or How to Be a Legend in Your Own Lunchtime. Snider wrote Teenage Survival Guide more than 3 decades ago when he was approached by Doubleday to produce a sequel to a popular book from the 50s called Twixt 12 and 20 by American music icon Pat Boone. Weird. At the time...
Was it left or right Twix?
Yeah, it doesn't say. We'll find out. I'm a left Twix guy myself. American musician Pat Boone wrote the first one. At the time, the editors at Doubleday saw Dee as a modern-day pop figure, whom kids would listen to, and assigned a rock journalist, Philip Bashy, to work with the singer. Last month, Snider said that his new horror movie, which he is both writing and directing, would start pre-production in June. Less than 2 years ago, Snider revealed that he was planning to direct... See, I got to start reading these a little more often. We're talking about a book, and all of a sudden they just want to talk about his movie.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's what I love about these, outlets.
Yeah, Snider's first ever autobiography, Shut Up and Give Me the Mic, was released in 2012 via Gallery Books, an imprint of Simon & Schuster. Let's see. In 2016, Twisted Sister embarked on one final track titled 40 and Fuck It in celebration of its 40th anniversary. These shows feature the band's core lineup of Snider, guitarist JJ French, and Eddie Ojeda, and bassist Mark Mendoza, along with drummer Mike Portnoy. The band's last ever concert took place in November that year, 20 months after the passing of Twisted's longtime drummer AJ Pero. So plenty of post music career stuff coming out from Dee Snider. You got a book, you got a movie, so he's not gonna definitely not gonna rest on his laurels, Dee Snider. So
I mean, he does a podcast too, so I mean, he stays busy. So
yeah. Well, he's got enough stuff going on, so he needs to quit doing the podcast and make room for us. So
yeah,
because I'm not writing a book or making a movie. So
that's right. Yeah, you made your buddy. Let us a shot.
Yeah.
let us get a little bit of that.
Right.
This was over from Metal Hammer. Bruce Dickinson's Empire of the Clouds will become more than an Iron Maiden song in the near future after 10 airships were commissioned from a company he works with. The Airlander 10 helium-filled ships have been under development for years, but the $600 million deal means they'll be in use in Spain as soon as 2026. Dickinson, a qualified commercial pilot, is associated with hybrid air vehicles. They begun construction after the order was placed by Air Nostrum, a company owned by the parent of British Airways. The ships are being built in the north of England, Business Insider reported. Airships are seen as part of aviation's future because they reduce emissions and are more easily converted to electric running than other aircraft. The Airlander 10 will be fully electric powered by 2030, carrying up to 100 passengers and capable of remaining in the air for 5 days at a time until there's a blackout. Development has not been without its difficulties. The prototype Airlander crashed on its second flight in 2016 and broke free from its moorings in 2017, injuring 2 people in the process. But Dickinson would know all about that. Empire of the Clouds, which appeared on Maiden's 2015 album Book of Souls, is an 18-minute epic that explores the story of the hydrogen-filled R-101 airship, which crashed on its first commercial flight in 1930, killing 48 of the 54 people on board. He the wrote the song during album sessions in a process he described as mad pro- professorish. Bandmate Steve Harris was much more complimentary, saying, "I think it's a masterpiece. Actually, I think I can say that because I didn't write it. It sounds like Maiden. It sounds like Maiden, but it's totally different from what you've done before. 18 minutes sounds like a long time, but it's actually such a journey that, well, it's best just to leave people to listen to it and see what they think. But it's very interesting. It's certainly not boring. So, electric air, man, that's going to be an interesting concept there. I don't trust planes as it is, but that's being all electric.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually saw that story, and I kind of chuckled to myself because I don't know if you watched the TV show Archer, but it reminded me of that one episode where they went on a mission and they were actually on a Zeppelin, and Archer was freaking out the whole time, thinking like one spark is going to turn into like the Hindenburg and shit. But yeah, so I thought that was it. That's what it made me think of. But yeah. But yeah, talk about someone who doesn't fucking rest on his laurels either. Fucking Bruce Dickinson for pushing 70. That guy is always fucking doing something.
Yeah, he's
spoken
like
word
a lot of these guys that are they've been around that long are doing that. It's like it's like, man, you guys got more energy than I do, and you're like almost twice my age.
Well, the funny thing is like those kind of guys, if they ever like full on retired, I think they would go crazy.
Probably, yeah. Well, I mean, there's been a lot of bands that have said that retirement's not in their vocabulary. So
yeah, Iron Maiden was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think I've heard that from Scorpions
and yeah, Klaus Meine just turned 74.
Yes, I mean it's just crazy to think these guys are still out there doing their thing at this age. But hey, man, more power to them.
Absolutely. All right. Not to be outdone by all that, Shudder, AMC Network's premium streaming service for horror, thriller, and the supernatural, has acquired rights to the This Is Gwar documentary. The film gives rare insight into the 30-plus year career of one of the world's most outrageous heavy metal bands, known for its grotesque costume characters and notoriously wild, fluid-soaked stage shows. This Is Gwar, which world premiered at Fantastic Fest in Austin, Texas, and won the 2021 Audience Award at Nightstream, will be available exclusively on Shudder in the U.S., Canada, and the United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand on Thursday, July 21st. Quote, for more than 3 decades, Gwar has set the standard for heavy metal horror with larger-than-life personas and gore-filled stage shows that were unlike anything anyone had ever seen, said Shudder general manager Craig Engler. But even their most ardent fans have never seen them like this, as the band and director Scott Barber revealed in moving detail the literal blood, sweat, and tears that have made Gwar the true legends they are today, end quote. Added Gwar, quote, Gwar is founded on horror, humor, and heavy metal. Of course, we love Shudder. It's our favorite. Every movie is like a home movie for us. Are you kidding me? Monsters, demons, the undead, dinosaurs? Those are our people. Gwar and Shudder, two terrifying tastes and taste terrifying together, end quote. This Is Gwar is the powerful story of the iconic heavy metal art collective as told by the humans who have fought to keep it alive for over 30 years. The featured documentary includes interviews with the band members, both past and present, and other artists including Weird Al Yankovic, Thomas Lennon, Alex Winter, Bam Margera, and Ethan Embry, including never-before-seen footage of legendary Gwar frontman Dave Brockie, rest in peace, Odorous Arungus. This Is Gwar is directed by Scott Barber, of Orange Years, the Nickelodeon story, with producers Tommy Avalone of the Bill Murray stories and Josh Goldblum of VHS 94. Executive producers include Bill Park, Zach Blair, Matthew Helderman, and Luke Taylor. The deal was negotiated by Josh Goldblum on behalf of the filmmakers and Emily Gatto, VP Global Acquisitions and co-productions on behalf of Shudder. Brocky, who fronted Guar under the name Odorous Orungus, was found dead in his home in Richmond, Virginia on March 2014. According to Virginia State's Medical Examiner's Office, he died from acute heroin toxicity by accidental means. Brocky was last remaining original member of Guar, which was founded 38 years ago. He was 50 years old. The satirical metal band earned a following for its macabre, over-the-top costumes, offensive lyrics, and graphic gore-soaked shows in which the band members performed as the descendants of alien warriors who arrived on Earth to enslave and slaughter the human race. Yes. So that'll, needless to say, that'll probably be an interesting documentary.
Yeah, to say the least, interesting.
Yeah. And Jason, what playlist is this that you just posted?
That's the weekly playlist.
Okay,
so if you want
go.
to check out some new bands or anything, there's the playlist for that. So
leave that up for a little bit.
If you interested in just searching Spotify for the radio listeners out there, you can just go into Spotify and search Metalheads Unite, and there'll probably be 30 or 40 playlists pop up. So
yeah, there'll be a bunch, because I mean, Jason, he's got like 23 or 24 weekly playlists, and then we've got all of the playlists posted from our top 10 list themes. So
which this one's going to be a good one too. So
yeah. Yes, it will.
Which when we get into that, I'll post the link for the last week's for that too. So
nice.
We were talking about this after the show. I said I think I forgot to post the links in the chat this week. So I was like, I'm really fucked up over. Like, I had a bad week. I mean, it was like everything was kind of like shoved up on me last week. So
yeah, well, I mean, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, with work and everything, kind of I got forced into working from home, which a lot of people think that's a blessing, but I'm not a home person, so it's kind of a curse for me. So
yeah,
so I like to be out away from home.
Well,
a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if I had to do it like a day or a week or something, it would be fine. But to sit in here,
well, you feel cooped up at some point.
Yeah, 3-4 days a week, and then having to live here too, which like I said, we buy houses to live in. Don't get me wrong, but going out and doing other things is good for your mental health. So
right, it is. Yeah,
so I'm kind of worried about mine at this point.
Well, and at the same time, I can see how it'd be a little bit different, because when you're at your house, like when you're on your, like, if you want to just like get up and go, you can. But like if you're working from home, it's like, I can't fucking leave. I'm at work. So I mean, it's kind of like a psychological thing. It's like, I'm at my house. I should be able to leave when I want, but I can't because I'm working.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing we work nights, I guess. So nothing's really open anyway. So
well, that is there's that too.
It's just a pandemic. Even Walmart closes at 11. So
yeah.
So I got a couple of headlines I want to go through. Are you still got?
I have one more story. So
you want to do that, and then I can blast through it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll do that. My last one over at blabbermouth.net. Musician, a leading music education platform that offers lessons in guitar, bass, piano, voice, and more, is launching Metallica times Musician, a brand new collaboration with Metallica featuring 3 beginner-friendly courses. Metallica X Musician, it's like Metallica times, musician. All right.
Yeah.
Delivers an exclusive music learning experience in which guitarists learn to play the Metallica songs they love with the multi-Grammy Award winning and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame band. Didn't need to throw that in there. With exclusive tips from James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett, Metallica fans can discover how to play their favorite riffs, dive into rhythm and leads, and get behind the scenes stories about the band's musical journey. Musician's patented AI technology provides players with real-time feedback as they learn Metallica classics from Nothing Else Matters and One to The Unforgiven and Welcome Home Sanitarium, a total of 10 lessons, all utilizing the band's original master tracks. Fans can access the first course beginning today, with the other courses rolling out in the coming weeks, by signing up for Musician here, hyperlink in the story. Hadley Spanier, head of artist partnerships at Musician, said, quote, the Metallica X Musician courses get guitar players up close and personal with the master musicians they idolize. Players will have the opportunity to learn how to play Metallica straight from Metallica. The unique course pairs unmatched access to the band with Musician's AI technology, so the guitarists in training not only get to learn from the masters, but also get the feedback they need to improve. Players will feel like they are part of the band, playing alongside their idols as they try to master some of the greatest guitar-driven songs of all time, end quote. The one-of-a-kind Metallica X Musician courses will provide fans with the chance to feel like they are members of their favorite band, as well as exclusive access to the bandmates' creative process and influences. The 3 courses for guitar focus on riffs, lead, and rhythm, and allow players to learn directly from James and Kirk. All new videos with the band created exclusively for the course will provide tips and tricks to guide guitarists in learning everything from the secrets of downpicking with James to awesome lead licks to discovering the real way to play those killer riffs they've listened to on repeat for years. From there, players can take these insights and put them to use, learning and playing side to side with the band through the custom-made AI-infused interactive lessons created utilizing the band's original masters of 10 of their greatest hits: Enter Sandman, Nothing Else Matters, 1, Fade to Black, Welcome Home Sanitarium, The Unforgiven, Battery, Mama Said, Master of Puppets, and For Whom the Bell Tolls. As players learn to master these mega rock anthems and riffs, the patented AI technology on Musician's platform will provide real-time feedback on their performance so that they can continue to build up to their rock star best. Beyond giving fans the opportunity to level up their playing alongside the band, the Metallica courses will also feature interviews with all 4 bandmates, James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett, Lars Ulrich, and Robert Trujillo, that takes fans into their creative processes, practicing techniques, pre-show rituals, and what life is really like being part of this amazing band. Metallica X Musician is the latest musician course created in partnership with celebrity musicians. Past courses have featured globally renowned artist Jason Mraz and Juanes in partnership with Duolingo. And if I remember right, I think Juanes is one of those artists that actually submitted a cover to the Metallica Blacklist. I'd have to go back and look at that. But Musician's proprietary audio recognition, AI technology, and engaging interactive learning techniques has helped the platform quickly become the leading music learning platform. The breakthrough on digital music learning has helped Musician catapult to more than 20 million active monthly users and attract major investors, including Amazon's Alexa Fund, Zynga founder Mark Pincus, Trivago co-founder Rolf Schromgens, and MPL Ventures. So this isn't Guitar Hero, folks.
Right.
As much fun as Guitar Hero was to play. So I mean,
yeah, man, imagine some of the songs they could put on that now. It's like,
oh yeah,
because I mean, it's been what? I don't know how many years it's been since they had a edition of that, but
I don't know.
It's been at least a decade. So
yeah. Yeah, and the funny thing is basically all they would have to do is just make any new song charts just DLC.
Yeah,
because I'm sure there are people out there who still have their Guitar Hero guitars. I'm sure there are.
I do. So I still got.
Yeah.
I still got my PlayStation 2, dude. So.
Yeah. I've still got a Guitar Hero guitar around here somewhere.
I had a lot of old game systems, and I think the one that I regret ever getting rid of was the Nintendo 64. I had that for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was like, man,
just for GoldenEye.
Yeah, well, that, and I had like that WCW NWO Revenge game. That was like
that
one
was
of the
a good
best
one too.
wrestling games ever, man. It's like so badass. Here's some of the. I was going to go through some of the headlines that we didn't really go into the stories because they were really like not much to go into, but just some headlines here. You talked about Gwar earlier. Gwar, there's a video of Gwar's Blothar teaching you how to put on a condom. That should be interesting. Whoever needed to learn that from him, but there you go. Then a Steel Panthers sign language interpreter does suck my ass and sperm shooting gestures during one of the shows. so kudos for her for being energetic, I guess. But and then of course there's an update on Ozzy. Sharon said he is doing well post surgery, so that's always good news. And then Disturbed filmed a video for their first single off their upcoming album, so we should be seeing that pretty soon. Kirk Hammett said he can't talk about the new Metallica album, which means that there is a new Metallica album. So,
wow. Okay. I totally missed that one.
It was kind of interesting. He was on some game show or talk show or something, and they were asked him about it, and he said, "Well, I really can't talk about the new Metallica album." He said the new Metallica album, so it was kind of like, "Wait a minute, you said the."
You slipped up, buddy.
Yeah, so obviously there is one in the works. Maybe it's not as glacier as Lars makes it out to be. Of course, we kind of talked about that, how how like truthful are they going to be with what they want to do? Is seeing as they've had like stuff released before the due, before the date and stuff like that. So and it's kind of like what we talked about with the Avenged Sevenfold. It's like, oh, hey, here's a new album. Like, what the fuck? Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't never tell with Metallica. So, but definitely they definitely seem like they're working on something. So hopefully, maybe by next year we'll get some new Metallica music. And then, of course, this was one I shared with you. Megadeth is teasing a new music for next Thursday, so
yes.
be on the lookout for new Megadeth music next Thursday. So,
and we'll have that up. We'll definitely have that up on the Metalheads Unite Facebook page as soon as that comes out.
Yeah. And then there's a Russian rock fan who built a guitar out of McDonald's French fries. So, so if you want to see that, you can check that out over at one of the.
Interesting.
I can't remember where that was from, but you can look that up. Guitarist makes a guitar out of French fries and look at that. It's kind of pretty wild. I mean, I guess that if you think about it, they get stale pretty quick. So
yeah, they really do.
Oh man. All right. Well, I guess that was all of the news stories. So
Mhm.
we can jump into hitting the road here.
Yeah. All right.
See, I got 1, 2, 3. I only have 5 listed. Of course, like
That's
I said,
not bad.
I don't get into the deep as you do, so a lot of my stuff's probably bigger named stuff. But
that's fine.
First one I have here is Clutch announced North American tour with Helmet and Quicksand. That kicks off on September 13th in Toronto, Rebel, Canada, and ends on October 16th at Chicago Concord Music Hall in Chicago, Illinois. In Flames will hit the road with Fit for an Autopsy, Orbit Culture, and Vended. Fit for an Autopsy and Vended shows kick off 9/6 in Boston, Massachusetts at Big Night Live and end on 9:30 at Lincoln, Nebraska at the Bourbon Theater. And then they're picking up in October with Meshuggah, which will be on October 2nd, Denver, Colorado at the Fillmore Auditorium, and winds up October 16th in Atlanta, Georgia at the Tabernacle.
Oh, I've been there. Yeah, it's a cool venue.
I have never been to that one before, but
yeah.
Architects have announced the support acts for their upcoming North American tour. Joining the Metalcore Brits for the track will be We Came as Romans and Like Moss to Flames. That will kick off on September 6th in Minneapolis, Minnesota at the first venue, but on that show there's no We Came as Romans. And then, of course, that wind up at October 9th at Aftershock in Sacramento, California. So that might be a good festival to go to because, I mean, in California in October would be pretty decent weather. So,
yeah. Well, it's like it's like that festival that's coming to Tennessee in October, where Eyes of the Living is going to be. We won't have to worry about it being, the weather like it is right now.
Yeah, we might have to worry about it being cold, but because you can't ever tell in October.
That's okay. Hey, if it's cold, that just jump around in the pit a little bit, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I was actually talking about that with somebody, and I remember when I was wrestling many years ago, they had a show in Tennessee, and it was an outdoor show in October. It was I think it was 2 weeks before Halloween, and of course, we were thinking, it'd be all right. It's 2 weeks before Halloween. It shouldn't be too bad. Oh, no, it's 38 degrees outside. so it was funny having all the wrestlers out there with, like, hoodies on and stuff. We weren't wrestling our regular stuff because it was too cold. And then it was having to go and, like, wipe the mat down after every match because it got frost and stuff on it. So, yeah,
right.
It was crazy, dude. It's like, yeah. But hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, and then next I have Lacuna Coil announced the summer tour with Butcher Babies, Uncured, and Lines at the Gate. That kicks off September 8th at HMAC in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and ends on September 23rd at the Forge in Joliet, Illinois. And then last but not least, Slipknot announced their fall tour with Ice Nine Kills and Crown the Empire, which kicks off in Nashville, believe it or not, and, on September 20th at Bridgestone Arena, and ends up October 7th in Irvine, California at the 5 Point Amphitheater. So,
and we already have our tickets.
Yeah.
Kayla bought a pair last night. So
cool.
there
I will actually get to see all of those at the festival. So like 2 weeks before that. So
you go. Yeah, September's going to be crazy because we got Slipknot on the 20th. We've got the Bay Strikes Back on the 16th, and then you're going to the festival.
Mm-hmm.
So September's going to be busy.
It'll be wild.
Yeah, it will
for sure. So.
All right. Well, yeah, that took a pretty decent chunk out of my list, which is fine. That's totally fine, because we're in this together. So
yeah, right.
So
yeah, I hope so.
We are. Yeah, we're in it together. So for the week of the 11th through the 17th,
I guess if not, we've been doing it wrong this whole time.
We have been, yeah. Starting out over at the PRP.com like normal. I've got Rivers of Nile going out on a European and UK tour with acts such as Suffocation, Godmother, Rings of Saturn, Humanity's Last Breath, Frontierer, and Decapitated, making appearances at various shows throughout, starting on August 9th at Jaromir. I think that's Jaromir. Starting off on August 9th in Jaromir, Czechia, and for some dumbass reason, I forgot to write the venue down. I've been doing that a lot lately. I don't know why. Finishing August 21st in St. Nolf, France at Motoculture. Then we have Caliban, Anna's Okay, Resolve, and League of Distortion going out on a European tour starting November 29th in Solothurn, Switzerland at Kaufmel, finishing December 11th in Leipzig, Germany at Felsenkeller. Then we have Cult of Luna, Russian Circles, and Svalbard have announced a 2023 European tour starting March 17th in Copenhagen, Denmark at Stor Vega, finishing March 31st in Warsaw, Poland at Progressia, I think. Then we have Ice Nine Kills. They've announced a 2023 European tour starting February 1st in Frankfurt, Germany at Batchcap, finishing March 10th at London, in London, UK at the O2 Forum, Kentish Town. Then Thrice has announced that they will be playing The Illusion of Safety at the House of Blues in Anaheim, California on December 17th and 18th for the album's 20th anniversary. The itinerary has been updated for Alice in Chains, Breaking Benjamin, and Bush's summer tour. The Life Project has been announced as the opener starting August 10th in Burgettstown, PA at the Pavilion at Star Lake, running through August 27th in Inglewood, Colorado, at Fiddler's Green Amphitheater. Then Thunder Pussy will take over as the opener starting August 29th in Salt Lake City at the USANA Amphitheater, finishing on September 17th in Houston, Texas at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion presented by Huntsman.
That tour with Life opening, the Life Project opening, should be pretty good. So.
Yeah, it actually should be. Bush will not be at that Houston, Texas show. And then the last leg of the tour will be with Plush as openers. We've talked about them, but we talked about them once or twice on the show before. An all-female outfit. Their leg of the tour starts September 20th in Rogers, Arkansas at the Walmart Amphitheater, finishing October 8th in Mansfield, Massachusetts at Xfinity Center. That tour will not be coming to Nashville in any way, shape, or form. Then Zeal and Ardor is going on a European and UK tour starting November 6th in Colchester, UK at the Colchester Arts Center, finishing December 15th in Preteln, Switzerland at Z7. Kingdom of Giants has been added to the bill for Miss May I and the Landmarks tour with more opening acts pending. And this was kind of a weird one to add to the list. I was kind of on the fence about it, but hey, some people out there may want to know about it. We got Attila and Twisted going on a September mini tour, starting September 2nd in Hartford, Connecticut at the Webster Center, finishing September 6th in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at the Enclave. No Nashville date there, so not even a week-long little quick run through the Northeast, I guess.
I've actually seen Twisted live. They're actually a pretty good band to see live.
Are they? Okay, all right. Yeah. And then what what playlist is this? Was this last week's top 10?
Yeah, that was the top 10. I was just posting in case before we got into the new one. So
okay, well I saw it pop up, so I wanted to let everybody have it. Then we've got the Soft Moon going on a European and UK tour with a guest artist yet to be announced, starting September 26th in Hamburg, Germany at U&G, finishing October 29th in Paris, France at Working. Strange name for a venue.
Right.
Shinedown, Asking Alexandria, and 0936 are going to Europe and to the UK, starting November 7th in Brussels, Belgium at Ancienne Belgique, finishing December 9th in Helsinki, Finland at Black Box Ice Hall. Asking Alexandria will actually not be at that show. Then Venom Inc., I Hate God, Ringworm, and Cult of Lilith are going out starting October 27th in New York, New York at the Gramercy Theater, finishing November 13th in Boston, Massachusetts at Brighton Music Hall. There's no Nashville date, but they will be in Memphis, Tennessee at Growlers on November 7th. The Callous Dow Boys are going to be replacing OTEP as the openers for the Light the Torch and Avatar tour due to OTEP having travel logistics issues with travel logistics outside of their control, quote unquote. I'm assuming it's probably transportation costs with the way everything else is going nowadays.
Right.
So that's everything I have over the PRP. I've got a couple from.
Was that Light the Torch tour going anywhere near us? Or
I don't think it was.
That's a hell of a damn show right there. Light
Yeah.
the Torch and Avatar, like damn.
Yeah.
Like, we get some good stuff, but then a lot of stuff I'm like, I wish would come around here that,
Right. Yeah.
like that I haven't seen. I haven't seen like the Torch. I haven't seen Avatar like headline like a show, so I would love to see that. But
yeah. So that would be a good one to come to, like the Signal in Chattanooga. A place like that. Yeah, that'd be a good place. That would be a good tour for that venue. And then going over to blabbermouth.net for a couple, Sacred Reich has canceled their European festival appearances due to Wiley Arnett's recovering from surgery for an unspecified injury. So that's kind of major. And then, probably not ribs, no. But and then lastly, we have 8.
Reason I brought that up because you brought up Tommy Lee, but then I read something where some other drummer from like Kingdom Come, I think, had broke his ribs as well. I'm like, what the hell's going on with drummers breaking their ribs?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. But then lastly, Ace Frehley has canceled his summer European tour plans due to unforeseen circumstances, quote unquote. Again, I think somebody speculated that it was probably transportation and fuel costs too. So, which I mean, with gas as high as it is, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
yeah,
it's
right. But yet you still see these dumbasses in V8s, doing 90 and 100 up and down the road. So
yeah. And this is coming from somebody who has a V8, but I also don't drive like a bat out of hell. But
well, I mean, it's like I said, the faster you go, the more gas you're.
Exactly. So. Yeah, you would figure people would know that, but
Yeah, they probably don't care.
Must be nice not to have to care.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That's like the only thing that I can say is positive about me having to work from home is I don't have to spend all that gas money every week trying to go back and forth to Nashville. So
yeah.
So that's a good thing, I guess. But
yeah.
Other than that,
that's a small case of turning a frown upside down.
Yeah.
Not having to spend $100 a week on gas. Yeah, that's nice.
All right, so I guess we will crank into our top 10 of the week. Chris posted the link up there from last week's top 10, which was Friendship, which I listened to. It's that was a pretty solid playlist too.
It was. It really was.
I don't know if we're going to be able to top this week's though. I mean, this is going to be.
Yeah,
this is going to be a pretty damn good playlist, I think. So.
This may, because I mean we've had some good ones in the past. This one could, if we had to do a top 10 list of all of our top 10 lists, which we may have to do it at one point. Now that I think about it,
that would be kind of interesting.
This one may be up towards the top.
Yeah. So yeah, we decided to do. We didn't decide. I think that was one of your. It was yours or Angela's. I think it was yours, right?
I think this one was mine. Yeah, Angela did have a couple. Had a couple ideas.
I got it wrote down here. We'll get to them. We'll get to them eventually. So.
Oh yeah.
Actually, this is a good problem to have. I'm usually scrambling for ideas, but now
Mm-hmm.
we got like 4 or 5 jotted down, so we're good for a little bit. So
Yeah.
At some point, you can you try not to be trying to duplicate anything at this point, but again,
Yeah.
it's hard not to sometimes. But
Mm-hmm.
you think we've done probably 70, 80 shows now, so
Mm-hmm.
so it's
Yeah.
kind of rough to not duplicate something.
Yeah, because there has been some instances where I've been putting one together. It's like, I know I've used this song before. Use something else. I think I've used "Hot for Teacher" like 4 times.
I mean, but if it fits, I mean, that's the hope.
I know.
If it fits, I mean, whatever. Anyway, our top 10 this week was title tracks. So it's
Oh yeah.
Title tracks of albums. So,
Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah.
yeah. So, guess I'll kick this thing off here. My first one should be no surprise. I took 9 Point Ruthless from 2021's Ruthless EP. So,
which was a very good EP that was released in December. So all of those media outlets that released their top 10 lists way too fucking soon. Yeah. They missed the boat on that one.
Yeah. I think that was like our favorite EP. Mine and yours both, I think so.
It was either number 1 or number 2 for me. I know it was number 1 for you. It was up there.
Then I took second one I took was Kill Switch Engage End of Heartache from 2004.
Yeah.
Then next one I took was Motionless in White Disguise from 2019. Next one I took was Testament Brotherhood of the Snake from 2016. So this one was like the hardest one for me. Like Testament has had so many good title tracks. I'm just like, dude, how do I like choose one? Then I'm gonna show some love to show some guest love. I told you we was gonna show some guest love earlier, so here's where we're showing some guest love. The next one I took was Extinction AD Culture of Violence, was from the album earlier this year. Man, that song is so freaking
it's pretty great.
Yeah. And the next one I took was of course, I don't think you'd be surprised by this one either. Was Machine Head Catharsis from 2018. That's like one of my favorite Machine Head songs at this point. But there's a lot of great Machine Head songs. So
yeah, and I still, and of course we've said this before. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but for whatever reason, I still don't understand the amount of shit that album gets. I really don't.
Well, and it's because people want change, but they don't want them. They don't want change. It's one of those things where we talked about that 100 times too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good morning to Myrna Guerrero. Thank you for stopping in, like you always do.
And then so the next one I took was Queensryche Operation Mindcrime from 1988.
Nice.
Next one I took was, of course, one of my favorite Megadeth songs, Megadeth's Peace Cells from 1986. And next one I took was Trivium in Court of the Dragon from 2021. I know I got more than 10 here, but I just want to go through them at this point. Here's some more guest love here. I took Eyes of the Living Sphere Comes Knocking from 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
at least let me know when you get done with your 10.
Okay.
If you want to go through your whole list, that's cool. Just let me know when you get to 10 though, because
that was my 10th one. So
that was your 10th one.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I wanted to know when you got to your 10th one is because there's been times in the past where we've done these, and I know that both of us have been like, there's no way we won't have any overlaps.
Yeah.
This was one of those lists where I was like, there's no fucking way we won't have any overlaps. And you know what just happened? We don't have a single overlap.
Holy shit.
I was like title tracks, there's no way we won't have one,
right.
We won't have an overlap. And through your first 10, we didn't have a single overlap. I am so fucking surprised by that.
Well, I mean, like we were talking out here at the fire about that a while back, and I remember some of the albums that came up we were talking about. So I didn't. I know some of the ones that you mentioned. I was like wanted to put them on here, but I'm like, nah, he'll probably put that on there because he was talking about it. So,
Mm-hmm.
then I had three extra here: "Bullet for My Valentine," "Fever" from 2010,
Oh yeah.
and then I had "Exodus Persona Non Grata" from 2021.
Again, another band that would have been hard to just pick one title track because you got
It was.
yeah,
I was gonna go "Bonded by Blood," and then I was like,
yeah,
"Oh man, I love Persona."
shovel-headed kill machine.
Oh my,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
come on,
Well,
man.
that too, but then I thought about it. I was like, man, I put that on the list a couple times. So
Yeah,
and then
but still,
last but not least, I had Pantera, "Cowboys from Hell" from 1990. So
okay, all right, yeah, okay. So this is gonna be such a good list. So here are my 10. Leading off, I did have Cowboys from Hell by Pantera, 1990, and that doesn't count because that was one of your
that was one of my extras. So
that was one of your extras. And this one's gonna be like, well, why didn't you go with this one? And I'll tell you why in just a second. I went with Seasons in the Abyss by Slayer from 1990. And I know some people out there was, well, why didn't you go
Raining
with
Blood, Raining Blood.
why didn't you go with Raining Blood? And I'll tell you why. Because the name of the song is Raining Blood. The name of the album is Rain in Blood. And I'm being fucking super duper uber picky. So
yeah,
that's why. So, call it OCD if you want, but
yeah, it's true though.
yeah. So then I went with Painkiller by Judas Priest from 1990. And if you didn't notice, my first three title tracks were all from 1990. Talk about a good fucking year. Cowboys from Hell, Seasons in the Abyss, and Painkiller.
Yeah.
All three of those albums came out in 1990. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And then
we need to do another album review for a different year. So.
We probably should, yeah. And then I went with Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden from 1982. Then I went with Master of Puppets by Metallica from 1986.
And that's the one that I was going to go with, and I knew you were going to have it.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing is, I mean, you could have gone with Ride the Lightning. You could have gone with And Justice for All. Yeah. So, I mean, then I went with Countdown to Extinction by Megadeth, 1992. I know I talked about that one too.
Yeah.
Then I went with Holy Diver from Dio, 1983.
Oh, nice.
Then I went with Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne from 1983. Then I went with a couple that were a little bit newer. I went with The Book of Heavy Metal by Dream Evil from 2004. Then my 10th one was War Eternal by Arch Enemy from 2014. So that was my top 10. My honorable mentions, quote unquote, I had another 10 of those. I just kept going. I stopped at 20. I was like, Jesus, I know I could keep going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we really wanted to, we could have just been like 50,
We probably could have. Yeah. Then my honorable mentions, I went with And Justice for All by Metallica from 1988. I went with Euthanasia from Megadeth from 1994. I didn't go with Peace Sells for the exact same reason I didn't go with Seasons in the Abyss. I didn't go with Peace Sells on a technicality. Yeah, I didn't go with that one on a technicality.
He says it in the song though.
I know. But like I say, I got him on a technicality. But then I went with Ride the Lightning by Metallica from 1984. Then I had The Fury of Our Maker's Hand by Devil Driver 2005. No More Tears by Ozzy Osbourne 1991. Then I went with Catharsis, Machine Head 2018. So that one was in there too. I had Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue from 1989. Another one from 1983. I went Balls to the Wall by Accept. Then I had Hey Stupid by Alice Cooper from 1991. And then last but certainly not least, I went with Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold from 2013. So those were my 20 for my top 10 list.
It might be a little extensive list. So
yeah, I think it's going to be like 38 songs. No, not 38, because I had 20, but we had two overlaps technically on the entirety.
It might be like 30. It might be right at 30.
It'd be 30.
I mean, it may wind up being bigger than that. We'll see.
Yeah, but again, But again, if anybody wants to, anybody listening who's a member of the Metalheads Unite Facebook group, I will, once we get the list compiled and collaborated on, I will get it posted. I will post the link on Monday for a 24-hour period where people can add their favorite title tracks. I really wish the link was good for more than 24 hours, but so anyone who's a member of the group will have a chance to add their favorite title tracks to the list. The only rules are just make sure it's a title track because that's this week's theme, and as with everything else, just keep it metal. That's all you got to do. So
that's right. Pretty simple.
Yeah. Pretty damn simple.
There's a couple I was just thought come to my head too, so I may throw them in there too. So
yeah, why the fuck not? Just goes to show you how many great heavy metal albums there have been, and we just barely even touched the tip of the spear. I mean,
oh yeah, I mean these are like well known,
like the iconic
bands.
ones,
So
more
I mean,
or
it's
less.
not it's not like we could probably go through here and look at other bands that we don't normally like Breaking Benjamin or I mean some bands like that. I mean there's a lot of other bands that we can throw on here that we didn't. I didn't even do any Five Finger Death Punch. So I mean, I mean there you go. And I got one of my favorite songs. So
yeah, hey, watch this. Hey, Kayla, come here a second. I want to kind of prove a point to what we were just saying here. We're talking. This is my daughter Kayla. Everybody, hey, we're talking about our favorite heavy metal title tracks. That's our top 10 theme, and we were just talking about how there are so many great title tracks out there in the heavy metal genre. And Jason was just talking about how he just had two pop into his head right now. Yeah. I'm putting you on the spot. Just give me one
title track.
Yeah, just give me one. Well, My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade, right?
Black
there you
Parade,
go. Yeah. See, there you go. So
3 Cheers to Revenge from that song. You put me on the spot like that. I get nervous.
Yeah.
The game show music was ticking for you.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. I
knew that would get her.
Yeah. So I guess it's time to jump into some album reviews here.
Yeah.
I actually only got through the one. This is like one of the.
Wow.
Well, this is one of the things I'm talking about. Working from home, it's like I don't have that commute, so it's like it's like I'm having to like take time and listen to these things. I'm not going out much, so
right.
So it's kind of been a burden on that part of it. So
yeah.
But I'll figure. I only worked 3 days this week, so it's my short week. So I'll be able to get some more in. Maybe I'll get a couple in that I can actually put on the page. I need to do that.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah.
So I tried to get back into doing that 2 weeks ago, and then I didn't do anything last week. So I need to get some more on there. So. All right. So the band I took this week, I took Infanteria. The band, that's the band name. The album is Patriarch. Infanteria is a 3-piece progressive thrash metal band from Cape Town, South Africa, and Manchester, UK. They were formed in 2006. Current members are Chris Hall on vocals and guitar, Tim Labrant on bass, and Adrian Langeveld on drums. Sorry if I mispronounced any of those names, but it's kind of cool to have a band from South Africa. I mean, we talk about a lot of different parts of the world on here, so
all the time.
I think this may be the first time that's actually popped up for anything, so that I know of, anyway. So it's on the show, like I mean, I'm sure there's been
right, yeah,
South Africa, but anyway. So this was the band's third full-length release. It was 8 songs, 43 minutes, 34 seconds. What's I got like a trivia vibe while listening to this. I could also hear maybe some Metallica influence on a couple songs. So it's definitely into that thrash metal genre that they kind of associate with. So I can definitely see it being rightfully so. There's a track on there, "Into the Depths." That kind of reminded me a lot of the Trivium. And then the vocalist is very diverse. He's got a really good range. He mixes up those cleans and screams really well. Uh, there's a little short ballad on there. It's kind of like it was kind of weird. Like everything was like 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then I got to this ballad. It was like a minute and 52. I'm like, wow, really? Like, wow, that's kind of like odd. But I mean, it was good because it wasn't like a musical. It was an actual song. So
Yeah.
uh, and it was only like a minute and 52. And like even though it's like really short, it does show off the vocal talents. Um, how he can like kind of get from that and then bring it down and do like those type of M Shadow type things, where he can scream and then he brings it down. And of course, Matt Heafy does that really well too. So
He does.
so really was impressed by that, and especially since he's doing guitar and vocals, it's kind of crazy of how well that was done, and then instrumentally well it came together too. So oh man, it was just crazy to have the guitarist playing like that and singing to kind of like a Dave Mustaine feel where he's just shredding the shit out of it and singing on top of it. It's like I don't think you see that as much as you used to in a lot of bands nowadays. But there was a little bit of like everything on here. I think. You heard some melodic, you hear some metalcore, you hear some old school thrash. There's other things in there, but those are like, maybe some of the three that stood out to me. Overall, I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one 4.5 horns. So
nice.
Yeah, it was a really good album. I look forward. If they put out something, 10, 13 songs would be great too. But like I said, we always want more. I mean, especially when you get so into albums, you're like, oh man, that's it. But
yeah,
it is what I mean. It was a long album for 8 songs, just 43 minutes. I mean,
that's a little more. That's a 5-minute plus average for song.
Yeah, like I said, it was most of the songs on there were like 6, 7 minutes. So that's what kind of threw me off getting to that minute when I'm like, wow. but
so you said that was Infanteria, right?
Infanteria, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is their third release. I'm gonna go back and check out some of their earlier stuff.
Hell yeah, yeah.
May even find a way to reach out to them and see if they want to.
Hey, there you go.
Come on, talk about it. Talk about their progression.
Yeah. All right. Well,
they were even talking about like in some of the stuff that they were talking about leading up to the album. I know the drummer was really saying a lot about how he felt like that this album is kind of like showing their maturity. So that definitely got me wanting to go back and listen to the other two now, just to kind of like listen to see if I can hear the maturity in this one. So
sure, yeah, absolutely. All right, well, you'll be surprised to hear this, but I actually listened to three albums and an EP this week.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I don't know what the hell got into me.
Overachiever.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, the funny thing is like I've talked before about how I don't have quite the commute that you do, so I can normally knock out like one album, during my commute. But I was actually driving around last night doing some Instacart. So while I was driving around, I was listening to some new music too. So I had a little bit of an opportunity to spend some more, time in the truck just listening to music. So.
I mean, I listened to some other stuff, but I didn't like have time to break it down, so.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So my formal write-up was the new album Zenith by Seven Kingdoms. They are a power/thrash metal band formed in DeLand, Florida in 2007. Oh, wow. So good old.
You usually wouldn't hear that.
The hotbed of heavy metal that is DeLand, Florida. Hey, shit. Hey, I'm not going to argue, though. Their lyrical themes include fantasy, battles, and, to be completely specific, George R.R. Martin. So big Game of Thrones fans, apparently. Yeah. This is their, and you can probably see why some of these album titles. This is their 5th full-length album. Their debut album, Brothers of the Night, came out in 2007. Seven Kingdoms came out in 2010. The Fire Is Mine in 2012. Decennium in 2017, and Zenith yesterday. It is let's see, we've got the lineup. You've got Keith Bird on drums, Kevin Bird on guitars, Camden Cruz on guitars, and Sabrina Valentine on vocals. Sabrina Valentine is the only member of the band who isn't an original. I didn't look up to see who the original vocalist was because it doesn't really matter right now. Anyway, Zenith is 11 tracks in length, 43 minutes and 40 seconds, 10 original tracks and 1 cover. So pretty easy listen. See, this was it was a pretty good mix of the power and thrash metal. I liked it. There was enough melodic accompaniment. It didn't have like a full symphony behind it, but there was enough of that little melodic background addition to where it got across the fantasy aspect that they like to portray. The only song I didn't really care for was track number 3, Love Dagger, because it was way too poppy, so I didn't really like that song at all. Thankfully, it was only 3 minutes and 10 seconds long. The one thing I liked about it is Sabrina Valentine, the vocalist. She sounded a lot like Pat Benatar to me. She's got that throaty singing style that Pat Benatar had. So she's got that really powerful voice. She's got a hell of a range. So it reminded me of the way Pat Benatar sings. The cover version that they did was "I Hate Myself for Loving You" by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. It was actually a really decently done, faithful cover. It wasn't note for note, mind you. The guitar solo was a little bit different. She put a little bit of a spin on the ending, so it wasn't like a note for note remake, but it was pretty good. But so it was a pretty well done cover. But it was a good up tempo thrash album. Like I say, a lot of the power metal aspect to it. The electronic stuff that was in the background wasn't overpowering, which I like. I like it when it's more of it's more of like a seasoning, just sprinkle that stuff in there, instead of having it be like, the main course. So where it doesn't overpower the guitars and drums and stuff like that, which, the guitar playing was really well done. I liked a lot of the drum tracks, the double bass that comes with power metal and thrash metal was in there. So a lot of the I don't want to call it typical aspects of thrash and power metal, but I mean, that kind of is what it is, though, the typical stuff. But I don't mean that in a bad way. It was all really well done, all put together really well. The songs were really well composed, except for, like I say, track 3. They could have done without the pop, but other than that, like I say, you got 9 of the 10 original tracks were really well done. The cover was really well done. I'm going to give it 3.5 horns out of 5. 3.5 out of 5. I always say this, but I may check out some of their older stuff. It all depends on whether or not I'm going to have time. But this one is definitely worth giving a listen to for any power or thrash metal fans. I thought it was a nice combination of both. Being a fan of both subgenres. And let's see. And then over Facebook Messenger a couple days ago, I had the lead guitar player from a little band out of Greeley, Colorado called Dragoria reach out and sent me the link to their brand new album, Dangerous Species, that was released. It was released a little while ago, May 21st. So about 3 weeks ago it came out. And so he reached out and sent me the link that I shared to the Metalheads Unite Facebook group. And I listened to it, and honestly, it was actually pretty fucking good. The Dragoria, like I say, they're from Greeley, Colorado. They are it has them listed as a death/thrash metal band, but I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't hear any of the death metal in this album at all, with the exception of maybe a little bit of a little bit in the vocals every now and then.
I actually listened to that too. That they posted it up. So.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure where the death metal aspect of it comes in, because I didn't really hear it. to me this album sounded like Exodus. It sounded like it sounded like Exodus. It sounded like Overkill. It sounded like who else was it? Who else did it sound like? There was another band that I thought they sounded like towards the end of the album that escapes me right now. But to me, this was just a flat out thrash metal album. It kicked ass from start to finish. I loved it. I thought it was great.
I did too. I liked that album.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this 4 horns easy. And yeah, so yeah, they reached out, and I was happy that they did. And they've got one other full-length album that came out in 2016 called Portal to Extinction. So I want to try to give that one a listen. But the album Dangerous Species by Draghoria, Draghoria. So you like Overkill and Exodus and bands like that, you're going to want to give this one a listen, because it's in that same vein as those two bands. The other album that I listened to the new album Second Skin by Iconic. I didn't really care for this one quite as much. I listened to it all the way through. It's more of a bluesy hard rock album. I mean, it was okay. It kind of teased me a little bit, because it started off a little heavier and faster than, it definitely tailed off and turned into basically a more or less a power ballad album at the end. So it started off better than it finished. And I was listening to it and I was like, why does this sound like Whitesnake to me? Come to find out after the fact that and I didn't know this at the time, because it was just I was like I say, I was driving around, I was listening to stuff in the truck, and I was like, all right, I'm done with the I'm done with the Dragoria. I'm done with I'm done with the Seven Kingdoms. I was like, I need something else to listen to. So I was just going down the list. And I was looking at, I was like, all right, he went with Infanteria. I just saw Iconic above. I was like, fuck it, I'll just go with the Iconic album. I listened to it all the way through. I was like, why in the hell does this sound like Whitesnake? Come to find out, that Iconic is a brand new band launched through Frontiers Music, featuring Michael Sweet from Stryper, Joel Hoekstra from Whitesnake, Marco Mendoza from Twisted Sister, Tommy Aldridge from Whitesnake, and Nathan James from Inglorious. So it sounds like Whitesnake because the band members are from fucking Whitesnake. So, and I didn't know that at the time. So, but it also made me feel good. It was like, well, I do have a good ear, because I heard Whitesnake in there. So, yeah, it was all right. Like I say, it was more of a bluesy hard rock band than anything, a hard rock album than anything.
Right.
And like I say, it got progressively more ballady as the album went on. And towards the end of it, it was basically nothing but power ballads at the end, which I've got no issue with power ballads at all. I've said that many times, but when it's all power ballads, it's like, okay, I'm kind of done.
Yeah. Throw one or two in there and, sprinkle it in.
Right. But I mean, Michael Sweet, you got his voice in there, so you kind of really can't go wrong with Michael Sweet's voice. Still got the pipes after all these years. So it wasn't bad. I'd probably give it 3 horns out of 5. It was okay. And then I listened to one EP. I listened to Chapter 99 by Electric Mistress. It was 4 tracks long. It was a little under 20 minutes. So, basically every bit of an EP. It's kind of hard to explain how this one sounds. Kind of sounded like stoner rock a little bit, which isn't really my favorite subgenre. It was okay. I wasn't really a fan I'll get my tongue untied in a minute. Fan of the way the EP was mixed. The mix was a little flat, which I didn't really care for too much. So I mean, it was okay. I'd probably give it just a 2.5 out of 5. Didn't love it, didn't hate it, but it was a quick 20-minute listen. So
yeah, I listened to that. I actually listened to that too. I didn't rate it or anything.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I just kind of like noted out to the side, but
yeah.
I listen to a lot of this stuff, and then I'll listen to 3 or 4 songs in, I'll notate it, and then I'll go back and and then
Yeah.
listen to like the rest of it if I feel like if in my notes if I feel like I need to go back and listen to it. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a band on here that was Gray Days. I don't know if you checked that out, but
I didn't, but it did kind of stick out for me because
yeah,
I'm wanting to say that one of us actually did an album review on one of their
them
albums. I
before.
think so. So when I saw it, I was like, that sounds super familiar, and I couldn't remember why. But
Yeah, I don't know how much I got into it because, like I said, I'm just going through and listening to stuff and then notating. But I did on my notes. I said it sounded like a lot like Every Mother's Nightmare, which was kind of odd because I don't think I've ever heard any band sound like Every Mother's Nightmare since Every Mother's Nightmare. But which was great. I think that, and it's like I said, like we talked about uh, band, a band sound like Avenged Sevenfold a while back, and then we were just talking about how well that's not a bad thing because what other bands do you know that sound like Avenged Sevenfold? None, because
not too many.
So I mean, it's a good thing, and like I said, I think it's good that we're getting bands that are able to carry that sound on. Like the KOism, we were talking about how they sound a lot like Korn. So
Mm-hmm.
Korn's what 30 years in. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
probably going on 40 at this point.
Yeah.
But, so they've been around for a long time. So it's good to have a younger band come in with that same sound, so it kind of carries on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing
because
wrong
Korn
with.
has because there's no denying Korn has a unique sound. I mean,
Oh God,
if
absolutely.
if you hear a Korn song, you like, oh, that's Korn. I mean,
Yeah,
you already
you know it for sure. And there's nothing wrong with, I mean, and like you say, Chaosium and the band that you were talking about that sounds like Avenged Sevenfold, they don't sound like, they're not like, it's not like note for note.
No,
I mean,
no.
just so what's good is they have, there are elements in there that are distinctive, but they're not copycats. So it's nice to know that it's nice to know that the sound will carry on. Somebody who can pick up the torch and kind of help carry it forward with Korn sound and Avenged Sevenfold sound, for as much shit as Avenged Sevenfold gets by, metal elitists and all this shit. We could probably go on a rant about gatekeeping and shit like that and all that stuff. But
then there's one album I
it
can't
is what
believe
it is. But
there's one album I can't believe you didn't even mention was the Yorn album.
Actually, I believe it or not, I actually did start listening to that album. I got like one track in, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna come back to this one.
Yeah, I actually got it checked. I got my check marks are over here to go back to a lot of this stuff. So
so
I don't know if I'll get to go back to a lot of this stuff, but it's because it's a lot. But,
so I actually did get like one track, maybe a track and a half into that one, and I kind of moved on because I have, and the reason is because I have heard of Yorn before. I wanted to kind of put that one off to the side to get to some of the other bands that were new to us, like we like to do. So I do have every intention of going back to that one, because after seeing that one on the new release list, after going through the history, we didn't go through the history.
Oh, you didn't do your history part, did you?
No, we didn't. I just realized that. But after going through the list last week and seeing them on the list like 4 or 5 times, I was like, okay, they've got a new album out. I'm gonna go through that. And speaking of which, like, yeah, we didn't do the history. So we may have to take a minute to do that because I'll be able to get through mine real quick. So before we go, we will get into This Week in Metal History, so we don't forget. But
so there was one album on here that I'm confused by because it's a band called Rancor, and the album was Bury the World. But when you look at it, like they have it on YouTube as 2022, but then when you go in Spotify, it says 2017. So I'm kind of confused about if this is new or not.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that too, because there were some other albums on this list. And I can't remember which ones they were now, but there were some other albums that I planned on listening to, and I went in and looked them up on Spotify, and the same thing happened. They either had an older year listed, or I couldn't find them. I have found nothing but singles. So there were a couple other ones that I kind of got roadblocked by.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna go back and listen to this album just because I listened to like one of the singles off of it, and I was really impressed with that single. So
Yeah.
so I'm definitely gonna go back and listen to that one. And then I had a couple others starred here, like this Teratoma, that band. I was gonna go back and check that one out too. So
Yeah, I actually did see that one listed on here too. See, that's the funny thing though, is now that we're using this new website.
oh, I know there's like so
I
much.
mean, it's like it's like where do you even begin? So again, that's something that's good.
It's a good problem to have. Yeah.
That. Yeah, it is. Because I mean because looking at the list for the 24th, I mean it's just it's actually not as long as this last week, but still, I mean it's probably every bit of 30 albums.
You want to go ahead and shoot that out there, and then
we'll go ahead and
hit the
history
real quick. So.
Yeah. So for this coming Friday,
we're out of order today, but
we're super out of order. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, for June 24th, starting off with 10,000 Years with 3. Then we have Ailstorm with Seventh Rum of a Seventh Rum. We talked. I know. You and I we talked about that one. And then we have Alex is on Fire with Otherness. Arthur Brown with Long Long Road. Then we have At Mahatya with And Horror Doshti Boch Horror. I don't know. Yeah. I probably said that all sorts of wrong. Then we have Belphegor with The Devils.
That's when you just respond with your mama.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have Black River with Generation Axe. We have Black Rose UK with WTF. Blackstone Cherry with Live from the Royal Albert Hall, y'all. Right. Bong Bong Beer Wizards with Empire, not Empire. We have Kashmira with Ambos Mundos, and if my Spanish is correct, that's Both Worlds. Marco, if you're still around, you can correct me on that. I don't know how well my Spanish is, but I think Ambos means dos and Mundos means world, so I think it's Both Worlds. Then we have Candy with Heaven is Here. Chaosian with Effigies of Obsolescence. Classless Act with Welcome to the Show. Coheed and Cambria with Vaxis 2, A Window of the Waking Mind. We have Dolly Van Gogh with New Blood, Old Wounds. That's an EP. Darkane in Human Spirits. Defiant with Vanguards of Misrule. That's an EP. Devil's Train with Ashes and Bones. Dumbwaiter with Ghosts Gists. Ghosh Gists. Try saying that 3 times fast. Mm-hmm. We have Emery with Rub Some Dirt on It. Enchantment with Cold Soul Embrace. We have Entrails with An Eternal Time of Decay. Fallen Sanctuary with Terra Nova. Final Light with a self-titled album. Goldsmith with Of Sound and Fury. Then we have another AD. We have Guillotine AD with Born to Fall. Hard Rocker with Rider of the Night. We have Hats Barn with Yahweh. We have Heavy Baby Sea Slugs with The Decline and Fall of Everything. We have the Helicopters with Through the Eyes of the Helicopters. That's an EP. We have Horned Wolf with Become Like They Are. We have Hush with The Pornography of Ruin. Immortal Sin, SYNN, with 7 Sins. Instigate with Unheeded Warnings of Decay. Intoxicated with Watch You Burn. We have Cold, KHOLD, with Svartsin. We have Knoll with Metempiric. Collapse with Until the Day I Die. LA Cobras with Superstition. Lament in Winter's Night with At the Gates of the Eternal Storm. That's a re-release. We have Limbs with an EP, Coma Year. We have Locust Point with Michigan Drag. I may have to check that one out just because of the title. We have Made of Teeth by Sociopathogen. Mankind Grief with Monarch. Mind Collapse with Delusion. Mirror Queen with Inviolate. Mislead with Find Your Enemy. Morrigan with Anwin. Mortal Sin with a couple of re-releases. Fear of Despair and Mayhemic Destruction. Mystery Dudes with Exit Through the Wormhole. We have Nuba Vigent with The Wheel and the Universe. We have 0 and 0 with Unwavering Romance. Ornamentos del Miedo, Yo No Soy Yo. I don't know what that translates to in Spanish, but Ornaments of Death, I think, is what the band name translates to. Our Dying World with Hymns of Blinding Darkness, Paganizer with Beyond the Macabre, Pathos, and Logos with Cult. That's an EP. We have Paul Di'Anno's Battle Zone with Killers in the Battle Zone, 1986 to 2000. If any of you don't know, Paul Di'Anno was Iron Maiden's original lead singer. Perdition Temple, Merciless Upheaval. Philosophobia with a self-titled album. Thank God I don't have to say that again. Porcupine Tree with closure/continuation. Profiler with a self-titled EP. Projected with Hypoxia. Radian with Discordian. Rebel Priest with Lesson in Love. That's an EP. I don't know how this RXPTRS. I don't know if this is Raptors. I have no idea. Live Death's Permission. We have South with Origins. Scum Slot with Knives and Amphetamine. That's an EP. Serpent's Oath with Ascension. Serpent Spawn with Crypt of Torment. That's an EP. Sycomania with a self-titled album. Suicide Silence with The Cleansing. That's a re-release for them. Tail Gunner with Crash Dive. That is an EP. Tigers of Pantang with The Wreckage, Burning in the Shade, re-release. We have Tyrannos with Spears of the Aten. We have Vater Daemonaz with Muse of the Damned. Victorious with Dinosaur Warfare Part 2, The Great Ninja War. That's a lot to unpack. We have Vile Haint with Sacrificial Baptism in Murky Waters. Volcandra with Border World, that's an EP. The Warning with Error. Werewolves with From the Cave to the Grave. And Sick with Set to Devour Us All. So that's the list for June 24th. Again, plenty to choose from there.
Yeah, the one that stood out to me was Rub Some Dirt on It. So.
It really did. Yeah. Yeah, there are some interesting ones.
Didn't the other one, what'd you say? It was a Social Mania or something?
Let's see. Hang on. Sycomania.
Sycomania.
Yep.
It's running wild. So.
It is. What you gonna do, brother?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm loving the problem of having to pick between a bunch of albums now. So
no kidding.
Have you tried to compare that list to what Loudwire put out?
Oh, it's not even close. I mean, with Loudwire, we may get like 10 to 15. And so we've got like probably 200 to 300% more per week from this new outlet here, heavymusichq.com.
Yeah, thank you, Heavy Music.
Yes, thank you for that.
All right, I guess we will dig back into this notable moments in history since we kind of got carried away.
Got to backtrack a little.
So, at some point this is all going to fade away anyway. So
it will.
Probably after this year we'll probably replace this segment with something else. So but for now we're still doing it. So
yeah.
So this one from June 12th to the 18th, notable moments in history. Not a lot here, so it's kind of a calm week for moments in history, I guess. But anyway, June 14th, 1986, 3 fans died during an Ozzy Osbourne gig at Long Beach Arena, California, after falling from a balcony. Not sure how much alcohol was involved in that, but June 16th, 2001, 4-year-old Daniel Carvin Verise drowned in Tommy Lee's swimming pool while attending a birthday party for Lee's 5-year-old son, Brandon. His parents, James and Ursula, sued Lee for negligence, claiming they should have been told there was a swimming pool involved. Their son could not swim. Lee was cleared by a jury in April 2003. So, man, that's kind of wild circumstances there.
Yeah.
2001, Motley Crue, Tommy Lee. You think that they don't have a swimming pool? I mean, get the fuck out of here.
And you not trying to victim blame here, but you got to be like, hey, my son can't swim.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, that or just stay with him. I mean, I never just dropped my kids off at 4 or 5 years old and just left them.
Yeah,
I don't care whose party it was. So anyway, like I said, we're not playing a blame game.
No.
It's all in the past. So
Yeah.
June 16th, 2013, Black Sabbath established a new UK chart record for the longest gap between number one albums, with their new release, 13, debuted at the top of the charts. 42 years and 8 months prior was Paranoid. So there you go. 42 years in between number one albums.
Yeah. So hang in there, musicians. It's never too late.
That's right. That's true. June 17, 1987, Florida real estate agent Victoria Holman sued Motley Crue and their concert promoter for hearing loss allegedly incurred at a concert December 85. Holman and her daughter had front row seats less than 10 feet from the speakers. The case was settled out of court with the band's insurance company paying Holman over $30,000, which was freaking ridiculous
which is $30,000 more than she should have gotten.
Exactly. Yeah. We're being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Yeah. Use your brain. I
mean, this is the thing. Like, if you're going to go to these shows, and you're not going to wear the protection or whatever, don't bitch at them because they can't. You're an adult. Like, be a fucking adult. Take responsibility for your actions and your responsibilities. Don't blame that shit on nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
June 17, 1997, fans rioted at an Ozfest concert in Columbus, Ohio after Ozzy Osbourne couldn't perform due to throat problems. Angry fans broke windows, uprooted trees, and turned over a parked car. That'll show them.
Yeah. Burn your own city down.
Yeah.
Of course, it's Columbus. They probably did them a favor. So.
Yeah. Well, the roads definitely hadn't got any better there.
Yeah, go blue.
At least not a couple days, a couple years ago when I drove through there. Anyway.
Yeah.
But that's all I have for history. So,
yeah. All right.
Not much going on. So.
No, but like I say, the lists are getting shorter. Because again, we're not gonna be repetitive with anything other than like the big ones.
Right.
Randy Rhoads. Stuff like that, which is going to suck because it's going to be a lot of unfortunate stuff, but
yeah,
it's stuff that's important. It's stuff, major events and
right.
Major events, So for the past week, leading off with one left over from last week's show, we got June 11th, 2021, Witch Cross releases Angel of Death. Moving ahead to the 12th, June 12th, 2001, As I Lay Dying releases their debut studio album, Beneath the Encasing of Ashes. Warrant releases their 6th studio album, Under the Influence. June 12th, 2009, Voivod releases their 12th studio album, Infini. And June 12th, 2020, House of Lords released their 12th studio album, New World, New Eyes. Moving ahead to the 13th, June 13th, 1991, Intruder releases Psycho Savant. June 13th, 1997, Last Chapter releases The Living Waters. And Lament releases their debut album, Tears of a Leper. June 13th, 2006, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts released their 11th studio album, Sinner. June 13th, 1995, Ugly Kid Joe releases their 2nd studio album, Menace to Sobriety, which peaked at number 2 on the UK rock album charts. Moving ahead to the 14th, June 14th, 2010, Grave releases Burial Ground. June 14th, 1994, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts released their 9th studio album, Pure and Simple. June 14th, 2005, As I Lay Dying releases their 3rd studio album, Shadows Are Security, which peaked at number 35 on the Billboard 200. June 14th, 1989, Obituary releases their debut studio album, Slowly We Rot. And June 14th, 1983, Exciter releases their debut studio album, Heavy Metal Maniac. Moving ahead to the 15th, June 15th, 2003, Force of Evil releases their self-titled debut album. June 15th, 1999, Merciful Fate releases their 7th studio album, 9. And June 15th, 2009, Magnum releases their 15th studio album, Into the Valley of the Moon King. Moving ahead to the 16th, June 16th, 1999, Ice Age releases their debut album, The Great Divide. June 16th, 1982, Picture releases Diamond Dreamer. June 16, 2003, Michael Schenker Group releases their 8th studio album, Arachnophobiac. June 16, 2014, the Choir Boys released their 7th studio album, Black Eyed Sons. June 16, 1992, Firehouse releases their 2nd studio album, Hold Your Fire, which peaked at number 23 on the Billboard 200. June 16, 1985, Stryper releases their debut studio album, Soldiers Under Command. and June 16th, 2012, Man of War releases their 11th studio album, The Lord of Steel Hammer Edition. And moving ahead to the 17th, June 17th, 1987, Great White releases their 3rd studio album, Twice Shy. So those are the historical releases from the 12th through the 18th, minus the 18th, because I haven't seen anything for today's date yet. So I will lead off next week's segment with that.
Cool. All right. Well, now that all that is over with, we have a couple of announcements here that
yeah, we do.
Save the best for last. So, so first and foremost, I did confirm we will have a guest on the show next week. Band Devil, DVL. I'm not sure which band members are going to be on yet, but I did confirm that this morning. They will be here next week for the show. So if you haven't checked out their new album, Hush, go check that out before the show so you get a little background on those guys. But definitely a great album.
Yeah.
So yep. So excited for that. So we'll get to talk to those guys next week. So.
And what we're equally as excited for is next week we will be doing basically 2 shows. We will be doing our normal show at our normal time, like we are now. We do have our guest. Next Saturday night, we will be making our very, very first live appearance, and I'm gonna pull up the flyer right now. We will be making our first public appearance, I should say, at a local show here in Belfast, Tennessee, which is about 45 minutes east of where we live. It's on the other side of Lewisburg. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hide all of our banners here. And this is the Slammin' in the Sticks, brought to you by FHT and Malice Haunted Attraction. It is going to be from 6 o'clock to about 11 o'clock. You can see the flyer here. You can see our lovely little the Metalheads Unite podcast is going to be broadcasting live from the venue. You've got the bands here. We've got Dystopian. We've got Lechuga. We've got Meditator, Chunder, and Existing in Exile. We've got 5 bands in total, starting at 6, going from about 11 o'clock. They're all local bands. I know that like a lot of you guys out there won't know any of these bands by name. Truth be told, we don't either. We did get to meet a couple members of this band right here, Dystopian, at the end of the Megadeth concert at the beginning of May. So we met a couple of those guys. Dana from Metal and Tats, who is this guy right here. This is Dana Horn. This is the guy who runs Metal and Tats. He introduced us to those guys. He's actually basically putting on the show himself and has invited us out to the show to do a live broadcast from there. So we will be making our first public appearance at the show. So anyone in the Middle Tennessee area specifically, or hell, even from East Tennessee, that won't be too far away for you guys to drive on out and check those guys out. As far as I know, all 5 of these bands are from Tennessee. I know Dystopian is from Tennessee. Dana, if you're around, if you're listening,
he's in there.
Yeah, Dana, if you're around, you can kind of fill us in on. Oh, see, yeah, he is.
Yeah,
you
didn't have the updated flyer. He was talking about the Manuel Alvarez.
Yeah, I was
guitarist opening up the show. So
I was looking for the updated flyer. Manuel Alvarez will be opening the show. He'll be doing a solo.
Guitar solo.
Yep, he will be doing a little bit of shredding to open the show. Yep. So yeah, as far as I know, all 5 of these bands are from Tennessee. So all local bands. So you guys want to come on out and check those guys out. It's only $10. And if they are all from Tennessee. Okay, Dana, thank you for that. Appreciate it. And then, so all local bands. So come on out and support some local acts, and come out and say hi to us.
Yeah,
we will be there. So yeah. So
well,
$10.
The
$10
thing you have to
for some
remember,
live
the
music.
thing you have to, the thing you have to remember is Metallica was a local band at one time. So
Every one of your favorite bands was a local band at one point.
right.
That is very true. So, you know, Metallica's first live show in 1982 was at a fucking skating rink of all places.
Right. Was that the one that they opened up for Rat?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe so. Yeah. So yeah, every band was a local band at one point. So hey, you never know who's gonna blow up. So we are excited. And Dana with Metal and Tats, he is in Tampa right now with Dystopian. They are they're down there for this weekend putting on a show. So yeah, they traveled down and put on a show, and we're super pumped to travel out to Belfast. Like I say, it's only about a 45 minute drive east of where we live. So we're super excited for that. And like I say, here's the flyer for everybody who lives in the local area who may want to check that out. It's going to be fun. We're looking forward to putting on a show live. Like I say, we're hoping to interview as many of these guys who are willing to sit down with us. So we will be doing 2 shows on Saturday. Not 100% sure how the live broadcast is going to go, because we'll have all of the normal content for the show put out that day during our normal show. Well, actually, I take that back. Depending on how long the interview goes with
Right.
with Devil, so we may actually hold some content over from the interview and do a little bit of the normal show content at the live stream at the live event. So
we do that too, yeah.
we may be able to do that. So but still, it'll be interesting to see how our first live appearance goes. Not exactly sure, like I say, how many live interviews we'll get to do, but so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
We say thank you for spending the day with us, but if you show up next week, it's actually going to be the day.
It'll actually be true. Yeah, it'll actually be true. Yeah. So any
there'll be a break in between, but
yeah, there will be an intermission, but yeah. So anybody who anyone who wants to come out to see us will be more than happy to talk to whoever wants to. And hey, any fans of the show who want to come on and ask us any questions, or just talk to us and tell us any cool metal stories from any concerts you guys have been to. Hey, we'll kind of see how this goes as far as the public appearance. But yeah, next week is going to be a very, very interesting day, but we're super pumped to making our live appearance at Slamming at the Sticks. We're looking forward to an evening of heavy metal music, because I mean, who wouldn't? But yeah, we're super excited. We're super excited for it. We appreciate Dana giving us the opportunity to come out to the show and broadcast from there.
I think it's funny. The first time I've seen our names pop up under the.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But yep, our first time. It'll be our first time being on a flyer. So.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we'll have. Hopefully we get to have some kind of merch there. We'll see. So,
Yep. Yeah, Kayla is about 2/3 of the way done with the new banner. She's finishing up getting the color put into it. So she's almost done with it. So she's doing a hell of a job.
All right, well, like I said, I'm not gonna rush anything, because
no, yeah.
She's definitely taking her time out of her time to do it for us. So
yeah.
So we're very appreciative of that too. So.
Dana says we will get a flyer. So very cool.
Awesome.
You heard your name. You heard your name. No, you're not in trouble. We were talking about how you're 2/3 of the way done with laying color down on the new banner. So. So yeah, no, you're not in trouble.
Not this time.
Yeah, Jason says not this time. So yeah.
All right.
So,
Well, there we go. So join us next week for the interview and the live stream. And oh man, so like going on. It's going to be a busy day. So
yeah, it will be a busy day, but
sacrifices must be made to do what we want to do. So
yeah, and Dana said we will get a flyer, so that's very cool. So
yeah, cool. All right. Well, I guess that will wrap this week's episode up.
Yeah.
Thank everybody for stopping in, and we will get that playlist put together today or tomorrow, depends on when we.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get
I know
it started.
I know you usually get it to me, and then I'm usually the one dragging. So. Yeah.
Well, like
especially
I said,
since I just have to go in here and remodel my kitchen just to get 2 desks and 2 chairs put in and set my workstations up, and I'm gonna be busy the rest of the day, I'm sure. So
so
I'll take time at dinner or something to knock it out.
It may not be until Monday until I get the link posted, but it'll be late Sunday or sometime Monday before the list is put up on the Facebook group to allow everybody to add to it. But so yeah, we'll get it put together. Absolutely. But yeah, so we are definitely looking forward to next Saturday.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be busy, but it's going to be fun. So,
yes, Octavio. Octavio just said, "Hey, hey, Octavio."
He's like, "I'm still here, damn it! Where y'all going?"
Which is the topic? The topic that we had for the top 10 this past week was title tracks. We just put our favorite title tracks in there. So that's the topic for this week. So,
all right. Well, let's wrap this bad boy up. Appreciate all the conversations in the chat too. Myrna, Octavio,
Myrna, Octavio, Hans, and Dana stopped by from his trip down to Tampa. So yeah, we appreciate everybody stopping by into the chat today.
And the boss was here with us this morning. So
yes, he was. Yeah. So we definitely had an international flair today. We had Octavio. We had Octavio from Mexico. We had Hans from Germany, and then had the good old US of A represented today. So,
okay, cool.
Good to know. Thanks for keeping that on the radar there, Octavio and Theos. We'll definitely do that. And Myrna is listening at work. So,
yeah. Well, thank you for listening at work. So,
yeah.
Hopefully, we made your job a little more entertaining today. So it's not a band that we need to like.
Well,
I can check them out. I think
we'll definitely look into that, man. Thank you for the pointer, Octavia. We appreciate that.
All right. I guess we will wrap this bad boy up, and hopefully we'll see you guys here next week for the extended version.
Yeah. And with any luck, we'll actually literally see some of you guys at the live show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Octavio, you're at least in Mexico, the public is very small. But hey, at least Octavio, you're doing your part to represent heavy metal in Mexico, and that's a huge country. So you're doing your part.
Yeah.
So keep holding it down there. We appreciate it.
That's right. All right, guys, we will wrap this bad boy up, and hopefully we'll see you back here next week, at least for the interview, if not for the whole day. I know it's it'll be a little much for everybody, but
yep.
There you go, Chris. You're Spanish. Mine's rusty as shit. So I haven't spoke Spanish in probably 15 years. So
I have no idea what he just said there. Yeah, my Spanish is awful. It's terrible. No. You don't know. You don't have to. No, you don't have to. You don't have to apologize, Octavio. You don't have to apologize.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of not trying to bring this up at the end of the show, but we just had an incident at a Mexican restaurant this week. Some chick come in and was raising hell with one of the person at the front and was bitching about a language barrier and blah 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 blah. I mean, it was like a big incident, and she was bitching about sour cream. She wanted an extra thing of sour cream, and was bitching because she had to go to the car to get $2 to pay for the extra sour cream. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, are you serious? So Susie got pissed off. It was, my wife, and she was just like, you know what? Let me fucking pay for it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
and the lady was like, oh no, I appreciate it. It's not your, blah 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 blah. And then anyway, Susie was just like, first off, this is the thing. You come to a Mexican restaurant and then you're bitching about a language barrier. You're in a Mexican restaurant. What do you think they're speaking?
Right.
Dumbass.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It's one thing. So anytime you're in a language barrier situation, you have to have the patience to make sure that everything's understood between the two. And that's where I don't get people. It's just like, why you got to be so fucking nasty to people when, it's not their fault. I mean, that you didn't make it aware of what you wanted,
Right.
And then you're bitching about a language barrier. No, what? And then it's like and it's one of those. Oh, it's like this every time I come here. Why the fuck do you keep coming here then?
Right. Yeah. it's like
man.
it's like once bitten, twice shy, 3 you're stupid.
Right. Yeah. Like, there's places I don't eat because I've had bad experiences there, and it's not because and it's not because I don't want to give these people another chance. It's because I have given them chances, and it's been like horrible every time I've been. So it's nothing on me. It's on them, and I'm not gonna go out here and like dog them or anything for that because some people might like their food. I don't, But the thing is, like we was talking about the language barrier thing. That's what brought it up. Was we have to be patient with those things. It's like we're a country where we have many immigrants from many different parts of the world. So I mean, you have to be these people come here to try to better their lives too. So
right. All right, Octavio, let me take a stab at translating this what you just said. Okay. And let's see. Hold on. It said it was because of the war, but when they announced it to other countries, they announced it. Yeah, I remember seeing that. Let me see if I can translate this though, Octavio, loosely. It says, and I comment because I am a admin of a ginger group with more than 20,000 members. Did I translate that right? Like I say, my Spanish is not great, but right.
Yeah, I think that was right. So
I think I may have got the gist of. Oh, yeah, yes. I got it right. All right.
yeah. You passed this semester. So.
Yeah. I had 3.5 years. I had 3.5 years.
Yeah, I forget. Myrna speaks Spanish as well.
Okay,
so.
I had 3.5 years of Spanish in high school, but I don't get enough practice with it. Because I don't. I did pass. Oh, sweet! I passed the exam. All right. So yeah, I don't get to use it that often, and it sucks because I mean, I would like to be fluent in another language, but I don't get enough of an opportunity to use it. So that was actually pretty cool that I was actually able to translate that with some sort of accuracy.
Well, I'll tell you, I can't tell that you fail English from your typing. You type very well. So
yeah, actually you do. Your English is your English is actually pretty damn decent. So
for those that don't know, Myrna was a aunt of mine at one time, but she was smart enough to get out of the family. All right. We will close this bad boy out. So I got to get in here and start getting my stuff together. So,
yeah. Well, regardless, mucho gusto, Octavio and Myrna. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will wrap this bad boy up. We will see you back here next week. Until then, keep those devil horns held high and jump in that pit anytime you can. we will see you guys. She's laughing. We will see you guys back here next week.
Thank you guys. Have a great week.